Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet David? Valuetainment, giving value's contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we can't no value to haters. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Okay, so folks, today's guest is a special one. We brought him here from Wall Street, big financial analyst, hedge fund manager, expert. We're going to talk a lot about ETFs, credit swaps, stocks, bonds, mutual funds,
what's
all
that
of that.
What's that easing?
The one and only Andrew Schulz in the house.
Yes.
I'm here, baby.
How you feeling?
Yo, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming out.
For sure.
You're funny as hell, man.
Thank you, man. I'm enjoying your content. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, I can literally sit there and I watch him like, this guy is a ridiculous communicator.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe one of the best storytellers out there, man.
Dude, that's so funny because I was saying that about you.
The only difference is
telling
this.
stories.
Yeah.
No, I mean that way. Like the way that you communicate is through story. It's like if you look at great, and I don't want to compare you to politicians, but if you look at the most effective politicians, they answer every question with a story.
Yeah.
And it's the best. It's like biblical, you know? It's like, why would I tell you what it is when I can show you? So you're on it.
I
man.
appreciate that. So these guys know who you are. They're in the comedy space. I know you from a fan standpoint.
Okay.
They know you from a comedic standpoint.
From stand-up, okay.
How did you get started? Tell your story how you got started.
Okay, so I'm born and raised in New York.
Yep.
I surfed when I was a kid randomly. I was born and raised in Manhattan, but I liked surfing. And so I was like, all right, for college, I'm going to go to school where I could surf. So I went to school at UC Santa Barbara.
Oh, wow.
And my 5th year in college there, I was managing a restaurant that had a comedy night randomly. And they asked me if I wanted to try, and I always loved comedy, but I never was like, I'm going to go do that. I always thought it was a weird thing to go, I'm going to go on stage and talk in front of people, even though I admired it so much. So the fact that somebody kind of asked me, I was like, okay, maybe this is like the excuse I need. And I tried, and I fucking loved it, and I came back, and I just never looked back.
Prior to that, nothing.
Never, ever. Never wrote a joke.
So now in school, if I'm in high school with you, 10th grade, 11th grade, who were you?
Yeah, I was trying to make everybody laugh.
Okay.
I was trying to get attention for sure, and I was busting balls, and I always enjoy busting balls, and I love comedy. I mean, like, I got hustled into the into those fucking into the tapes to the Russell Simmons Def Comedy Jam. Didn't you Def?
I was on Def Jam.
Yeah, but you did it a little bit later.
I did it when I was the different host.
Not Martin.
DL Hughley was on.
No,
It was me and Daniel
DL.
Haynes Jr. did it on the same
That's
year.
right. That's right. But so when we were kids, he had this great, like, basically, I got my dad to sign me up, and it was like a monthly thing where they gave you a new tape every single month.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so I didn't even know it was that. I just thought we were getting one. They just kept coming in. My dad was like, what the fuck is this? So we just had this stack of just absolutely horrendous, offensive jokes that we found hilarious, but at the same time, Def Comedy Jam was like just taking over.
Yeah.
It was like when you did that, how much time do you have?
How much time?
Yeah.
What do you mean on the stage? Oh, they were like, dude's 10 minutes. They cut it to like a 5-minute set.
Yeah,
it was cut to.
Why is that? Is that like a model? Was that a structure? Did they put a lot of guys on, or?
I think it was probably better. It was like, let's just take the best 5.
Take the best 5.
And a lot of these dudes didn't even have time. A lot of
No,
these guys had. It takes time to put together like an hour of material where you could like tour. You know.
Forever.
That's a big thing in the comedy world. The time you get. So you start with 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get 5. Maybe you get 10.
Yeah.
When you can get to 20, half hour, like people, I'm working on my hour. I'm working on my hour. You know what that's like.
Well, you need an hour to tour.
Yep.
You know, like the way that we make money is by going on the road. Now we have podcasts and all these other things, but before that, it was like, you know, you're like a stripper. Like it's just, I got this weekend in Milwaukee, and I need to make that money, and they're gonna pay me $1,500 or $2,000.
Yeah. And it sucks about those, Andrew, because you know, listen, when it ain't yours and you have no hands-on shit, like, you know, with like the Netflix and all these people, over there, you do it, you leave. There's a room of people that are picking your shit for you. You're like,
sure.
and yo, can I edit can I be in the room to edit?
Yeah.
I know what's funny. Y'all, you know, you're just an editor, not talking shit about editors, but
That's the most vulnerable thing, man. And that's the trickiest thing when you're building a business. Is like, maybe I would say this. I think that's the biggest issue with Hollywood right now is like the people who come up with the ideas for the movies are so far away from the execution of the movie.
wow.
And if you look at the films that actually work, it's usually like writer-directors,
Yep.
right? They see the whole thing through. Like not even writer-director, like you look at a guy like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is like the only actor that gets final edit. So that means you can't even put a scene in unless he says okay.
That's badass.
That's
dude.
some crazy, and that's why
dope.
every Mission Impossible,
It's sick. It's
Right?
sick, yep.
He made how many Mission Impossible? I think the mission's possible. Right? Like, every one he wins
Mission accomplished.
is mission accomplished, but we still watching it. Yeah. And every one he got to pretend like he's not going to do it. We believe it every single time.
You think it's gonna happen this time?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
God,
so.
that's so
So
funny.
Cruz is saint status, right? So you would call him like a saint status guy that he gets to do whatever he wants to do. Who's saint status in your world right now? In comedy, who's saint status?
I mean,
Chappelle
Dave.
is one.
Dave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else? Is there saint status in comedy?
Joe. Rogan do whatever he wants. Dave can do whatever he wants.
Joe, Bill. I think Bill Burr could. Bill Burr could say whatever the hell he wants. I mean, Louis went through his shit. I mean, Louis, bro. I would still go and put money to see somebody like him, and I would put money to see Louis C.K. All these cats.
Would
Yeah,
you
I mean,
put Ricky Gervais as a?
Yeah, Ricky.
Ricky's up there
Okay.
for the whole year.
The thing
Yeah.
with Louis is, and Louis will say, like, I think he even said it, like, they're probably not going to make a movie with him for a while.
Yeah.
Like, Louis is going to need to make his own hit, and then Hollywood will go, okay.
Welcome him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's business. That's the weird thing about it. Like, I don't know. Like, the more when you don't have any success, everything feels like it's an organized attack, right? And then when you start to have a little bit of success, you understand like how business works. It's a lot of people just trying to not lose their job. Yeah. You know, so like before I was like, oh, Hollywood's trying to put all these weird ideologies in movies and convince everybody to be this way. And it's not. It's just some guy who doesn't want to lose his job. So he hears your edgy joke and he's just like, I could get fired. My kids are in private school. I just bought this house I can't afford. All right, cut that fucking joke.
Yeah.
And scared money don't make money, which is why a lot of those things flop. But at the same time, I have empathy for people who they don't love the fucking movie. They love their kids and shit. They want their kids to go to school.
So you're not into the whole Disney, what they're doing, the woke stuff that Disney's
What they
going
do.
through?
Hasn't Disney always been woke? I mean, my favorite Disney movie when I was a kid was about like a Middle Eastern dude.
Which one was it?
I don't know which one
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I didn't even know what he was. Like, I thought Aladdin was white.
Some brown.
I had no fucking
Magic
clue.
carpet ride, bro.
Like, yo, when we were young, it was like Mulan, Aladdin. I didn't even know there was white people in Disney. There was one white. It was like Ariel was like a fish and white.
Yeah.
Mermaid.
Yeah.
She was white.
And white people are the best swimmers. Like, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like, there's not going to be, you know what I mean?
I mean,
we're
I'm
gonna
not going to
swim it.
object to that one.
Yeah, so it's like, I always thought it was diverse. I don't know why everybody's making a big deal about
So
it.
you're saying Disney's been woke for a while?
I wouldn't even call it woke. I think it's woke when you like virtue signal about it. Like nobody, when fucking Aladdin came out, nobody was going, oh, here they go, trying to capitulate to the Middle Eastern people. You know, like giving them an opportunity. I swear to God, being a kid, I didn't know that they weren't white.
I mean, none of I don't think you guys did. Did you put it two and two together? And I'm Middle Eastern. I wasn't like, yeah, those sandals are dope. Like I had no idea.
No, I knew it was Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't a problem until you get older and where they separate everybody by this and race and this and yeah, that's why.
So what's happened then? Have we become softer, more sensitive? Because, there's a whole camp that talks about what Disney's doing, right? Like their last two movies flopped.
Yeah.
This Stranger World, whatever the movie was called.
Yeah, that's a big one.
$180 million opening weekend 20. They're saying they're going to lose $100 million. Then the other one they did is which one is what do you call it with Toy Story? What's
Woody,
there's
Lightyear?
a name
Buzz
for it.
Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
That one flopped. That's back-to-back flop, and the CEO gets fired.
Oh, yeah,
They lose
Bob
their
Iger
tax
came
status
back.
here in Florida. So DeSantis goes back with them. Iger said a couple comments the other day about DeSantis. And, it's a very interesting place. Some parents are not comfortable with Disney. The brand's changed a little bit, but, they've had criticism for a while on what they've done.
Yeah. I think it's something that you consider. It's absolutely something these brands are considering, right? You're a $1 billion company. You're going to make these considerations. But at the same time, like they did that thing. I think Disney did Encanto.
Yep,
Was that Disney? That fucking crushed.
killed it.
And that's like a Venezuelan story or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So like, I don't know. That's an interesting one.
And it's weird, and like you said, from us growing up, we used to watch what they would never make today.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner, and dude, they were trying to kill.
Each other.
Like you feel me? Like the Coyotes' whole life was trying to kill this fast ass thing. Never Acme, nothing ever worked. And Tom and Jerry, this cat was trying to eat this thing and was the worst cat ever. And the owner was a black chick because you knew it. Because they shot Tom, what you doing? That was the most blatantly like you knew they never even showed who she was. She was a black chick, and that was just a stereotype black chick that they put in there.
I don't know. I'm like, Disney, you can't fuck with the mouse, man. Disney's so smart. Like, people think it's a competition, but it's not. Like, you got kids. You have 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you have kids? No, you don't, fuck boy.
From a former fuck boy. It takes one to know.
Nah, he's not. I'm reformed. I know about fucking river like you. I can tell. This guy is out in these streets, these canals, these rivers, whatever the fuck.
Can't even hide it anymore.
God,
I was at a retirement community last night.
I came home before we started recording. He's talking about girls we both know. I'm like,
Twins. You know the twins.
yeah. Come on, let me sit down and get comfy.
We're talking
bro.
about family values here. Disney,
yeah.
Andrew Schulz. This is where you want to go. Let me weigh in on the Disney subject.
So let's talk about the family shit. This is when I knew it was going to be rough for Netflix when Disney got in the game. It's because, like, have you ever been to Disney World? Mm-hmm. Okay, how much money you probably spend when you go to Disney World with the fam? At least $1,000.
At least $1,000.
To get all the kids.
You got the hotel.
Say $2,000. Oh, you're talking hotel and everything together.
Whole weekend.
Yes.
$4,000 or $5,000.
At least $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
How much money will you spend on your Netflix subscription over your whole life?
Oh, great question.
That's a good question. Probably less than that.
1,000 maybe.
Yeah.
And you got 6 different people using the same one. Like, so there's no way Netflix is going to be able to compete long term with a brand like Disney unless they start doing these like live experience of things. And they have tried. They're doing like Stranger Things live. Like, you got to get people outside. There has to be other streams of revenue. Like, Disney's in everything. So even if they're not making money off the movies, they got money coming in from Disney World Paris, and they got the merch lines. It's like, it's so hard to compete with them because they can lose.
You got kids?
4 different ones. Not yet. Trying.
Okay. So you're going to want to raise your kids a certain way, and you're not going to want anybody to have influence over your kids that you don't want them to have influence up until a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got to tell you.
At some point, you're going to be like, I'm okay if he's going to hang out with this uncle, but
I got to tell you something.
Let's hear.
I was messaging my wife, and I was, I like to listen to your guys' stuff before I come on and talk, to just like anybody. And I was listening to something you were talking about, like living close to. You created your life around where you live.
Yeah.
You're like, I bought this building. It's a mile away, and the school is 0.2 miles, and everything like that, and everything's close. And I messaged my wife, and she doesn't know that I'm like listening to this shit, and I'm like, oh, that's fire. I'm about to drop it on it. I'm about to drop that shit on it. And I'm looking for the point in the message. Like, I go, I want the studio to be close to where we live. Everything needs to be close. Restaurants close. Anything we do close. Everything, right? And then she starts to kind of like argue, like, if you build your studio, and then it might be a little like, listen, if you want to maximize your life with your partner and your children, you have to keep all that close, okay? Hours traveling is wasted time with family.
Yeah.
She goes, yes, close neighborhood, but in LA, everything isn't close. I go, school, work, home, social life, close. As close as I can. An hour each way is 2 hours away from my kid. Do you know how you can change a kid's life with 2 hours a day?
What's the reaction to that? What's she saying?
She goes, Andrew, I agree. I go, honestly, I'm just listening to a podcast.
Shout out to PBD, just keeping things real close.
That shit was fire right there, bro. That shit was fire. She was so excited. I was like, move me anywhere.
That's so fucking.
Well, I mean, the difference is the last 20 years, I'm traveling 6 months out of the year. So finally, it's like I want to get everything to be
close,
close to each other. Yeah. But when you got kids, the only thing you're going to be like, listen, don't talk to that guy. Be careful with this, because they're still like can make up their minds. They're still a little bit more, flexible on ideas. And then eventually you're like, listen, you got to do whatever you got to do. I don't have control over you anymore. Just like us. At one point, no matter what mom, dad said, we have to go screw up. We have to make our own mistakes. Yep. And then you're hoping you've taught your kid enough to process issues independently, and then they're off to the races.
Yeah.
If they're turned on by some Disney cartoon or this movie or that movie, that's up to them. But till then, that's the part where some people are uncomfortable with Disney right now.
Yeah, you feel like as a parent a little bit uncomfortable with it.
I feel it's my job to raise them until a point that they can decide for themselves. Up until that point,
I talked to Rogan about this a little bit, because I'll let him know. I'll be like, man, the annoying thing about getting money is there's less to complain about. Like when I didn't have money, I was like affected by every issue. I was like, we gotta talk, we gotta fix this and change. And then I got some money, and I was like, man, like the Amon Geary's a great place to hang out for a weekend. It's like, do I really want to read this whole article about abortion, or do I want to go to Utah and look at mountains?
Yeah,
like, that's way better, you know. And then Rogan was like, when you have kids, it just brings you right back in. I go, why? He goes, because now everything is affecting the way they see the world. And your kid is going to say something to you, and it's going to fucking rile you up. I got a friend of mine, he lives up in Toronto, and his kid, he got 2 kids, and he was giving cookies. He gave 2 cookies to his baby girl, and then 1 cookie to his son. And his son goes, he goes, hey, I want 2 cookies. And he goes, why? He goes, because fair and equal. He goes, what did you just say? He goes, because life is fair and equal. And he literally called his wife. He goes, we're moving back to America.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Listen,
That's hilarious.
Whatever you give a lot of time to, you're going to be more protective of. You know? It's like that's, like comedy. What do you guys very much, what's a sensitive side of your world in comedy? Somebody uses your joke.
Somebody stealing your joke.
Somebody steals your joke. Like, in your world,
I'll
that
fight
is like,
you.
I had Carlos
Mencia, exactly.
What, 3 years ago? I don't know what it was.
3
4
years
years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
He stole Pat's wallet.
He still passed wallet.
He just like
So we were having a conversation, and it's like, well, do you realize what he did and what the jokes and all this? So in your world, because that's personal, that's yours. How dare you take my joke that I came up with? Imagine your joke, but now it's your kid, your body, the sacrifice, the hours, the diapers. You're like, no, bro, you ain't messing with this one. Because I put 50,000 hours into this. You're going to put 6 hours a day. And you think you're going to persuade this kid? No, we're not doing this.
Intellectual property.
I change a school over a simple thing like this.
That's why you don't like China so much, because you see what they're doing with the intellectual property.
Well, what he said about TikTok was freaking unbelievable.
I made that shit up, too. It's crazy I was right. Isn't that crazy I was right?
What did you say about
Isn't
TikTok?
that crazy I was right, though? That's crazy. I was right.
Tell the story.
It just made sense to me in the moment. Like, I was like, man, if I had a social media company, this is what I'm sure America does. It's like, we got Facebook, Instagram, so we could like feed the algorithm in these other countries anything we want. And I assume what we do, we were doing it with movie and TV shows for years. It's like, we're sending out all our cool shit, and then everybody in other countries like, I want to be a cowboy. I want to be a cool guy. I want to do this stuff.
It literally ended the Cold War. Blue jeans and Rocky.
Is that what it was?
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they ran out of money.
No, that's part of it, because they were spending it all on blue jeans, bro.
Exactly.
Boom.
Not the space race.
No.
It was Levi's.
But no, that culture. I mean, every part of that.
So I was like, well, if China controls the algorithm.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was like, if China controls the algorithm and they're showing different shit to the kids out there than they are over here, they could get us into this dumb shit. Everybody's twerking, making stupid videos, where in China, they're doing fucking math problems and engineering.
Oh, I saw that
Brilliant.
clip.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
But it's so fucking true.
Yeah.
So I put that shit out there and I reposted it, and I was like, man, I was on one with this one. But that's what happens with jokes. Like, sometimes things make sense in your head, and you're like, let me just throw it out there and see. And then I don't know if I can say this. But people in the State Department, put it that way, got back to me, and they were like, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
No shit. So you're now on the inside with State Department.
No, they're not talking to me directly.
Okay, I was going to say, you're getting same status.
But
I don't want to be involved in none of that shit.
but you nailed it, because like I think about the American kids here they're doing the fucking Tide Pod challenge, and the light myself on fire, and like, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like, and kids are doing it. Over there, you can't do shit. They're not watching shit. It's just math and science.
Yeah,
that's all you're watching.
Our TikToks are fire though. Like,
that is pretty dope.
Watching a kid light themselves on
It's
fire,
so
that's
amazing.
fun, bro.
I love it.
If you really want to think about it, that's who did that first. Wasn't that like Tibet or some shit? Like, was it
Tibetan guy, the monk.
the monks?
That was the first viral TikTok.
Yo.
It was him.
That shit was fire.
That was like, man, somebody tape this shit.
PBD, you've got strong opinions on what we should do with TikTok at this point. You did a whole case study about you're doing videos on Instagram that get literally millions of views.
Get rid of
And on TikTok, you're getting like 5 views. It's like clearly something's up.
This is what's going to happen. I mean, the TikTok's got a lifespan. They're not going to be around forever. TikTok's got a lifespan. You got a year, 2 years, one Republican president away from TikTok being banned in America, and you're going to be the next Vine. Bro. And some people who are not ready for it, they're not going to be adjusting.
It's already done.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about like about this is gonna sound fucked up, but kind of like when like government and social media companies are in bed with each other. I mean, you know the game probably better than anybody, but I would assume once your company gets big enough, the government goes, "Hey, now we work together," and then you go, "Okay."
It's kind of like a mafia thing.
Yeah,
We're going to be working
It's not
together
like an
now.
insulting thing, but it's
Yeah.
like you've reached escape velocity, and now we work together. And so with YouTube Shorts, it's the exact same thing as TikTok, if you look at it.
You're right.
Only it has way more data and way more American data. You're talking about YouTube, which is Google, right? These are the number 1 and 2 search engines in the world. There's no way that you would prefer to be on TikTok than you would be on YouTube.
Well, brother, think about it. In America, you know, what's the Chinese TV station that we all watch?
MTV.
The point is,
MTV.
there's no Chinese media here.
Yeah.
It's because we don't want our kids or our civilization being indoctrinated by CCP thoughts.
Yeah.
But they averted that through social media, through TikTok.
Yeah.
So at some point, who owns TikTok? ByteDance, who's
Yes.
owned by the CCP.
Yeah.
At some point, and this is one of the things Trump was I got credit for.
Yeah.
We need to relook into this.
Yeah,
I'm
just
shocked that we're not
get rid
looking
of
more
it.
into it now.
Bro, we don't need it. And but you guys hear? So I think it was yesterday. The South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem, she banned it from every state agency. None of y'all could use TikTok at all. It's all off their phones and all.
I'm
that.
totally
What do you mean?
cool with the government. not
So
being able
the
to use
South
that.
Dakota governor, Noem, she spoke.
I think she's pretty, isn't she?
She said
Yeah.
it's off our networks. It's blocked off of our servers. Any state employee, anybody who contracts
Get outta
with the state
here.
of South Dakota,
Wow.
don't have
Wow.
this shit on you. Period.
Good for her.
And I respect her.
Andrew, you
Yeah.
know what she's got? Some heavies.
She got the heavies.
She got
bro.
the heavies. bro.
You know the twins started the heavies, right?
Did they really?
It comes from them.
Stop it.
Swear to God on my life.
Because they do.
They absolutely do.
They definitely-
Yeah,
This-
absolutely.
That's the inside of me and Pat. Like, can we play? I want to play.
Heavies are what we call,
Also our good friend.
Lower back
Voluptuous.
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also our good friend.
Fat
Yeonmi.
tits.
Yeonmi Park.
Oh
our good
yeah,
friend.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
interviewed her? I'm trying to
Yeah,
get her
of
on the
course.
pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're trying to get her
You
on?
haven't?
I've been messaging her a little bit, but she doesn't know that I always talk about how huge her tits are from eating rats.
I think that's going to be the differentiator. She's going to come on the podcast.
She's a total sweetheart.
But she doesn't know, and she's very sweet. She lives
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. I
You know
think.
how small she is?
What?
Tiny.
Do you know how tiny she is?
Not all of her.
What? She's maybe
Yeah.
85, 90 pounds.
Really?
She's,
serious?
first of all, first time we go out to lunch, and Adam's.
Wait, you've been out to lunch with her?
Yeah, so we go out to
Is
lunch.
there a restaurant where they serve rat in America?
You're so
No, this
funny.
is crazy. Like, you know an actual rat.
Yard house. We had a rat burger, though.
She came and she spent days
Jason
with
brought
us.
us. Yeah, yeah.
Jason
Oh,
with the
God.
big-
By the way, it's so funny. So we're sitting there,
Shout out
and
Yomi, man.
she meets Adam for the first time. This is Adam's
Oh my
first
God.
time. What she says to
No,
Adam.
no. The second time, because we spent the whole day together. We were filming content
That's right.
together.
That's right. And what does she say to you?
She goes, "Hey,
"You gay?"
you gay, right?" I said, "What?" By the way, we're in front of everybody. She's like, "Adam, you dress so nice. You look so good. You gay, right?" I said, "Yummy, what? Say that one more time. You gay?" I said, "No, I will take your little 85-ounce out back. I'm gonna show you what gay looks like. All right? Yummy." But she's an absolute sweetheart. You gay?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Her story's
No.
a crazy story.
Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about her, real
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
The fact that we even know her name when we're talking about her.
Yeah.
Escaped.
Guys, look, wait, don't
North
delete
Korea.
it. Don't
Yeah.
delete it. Look, go back to what you had there. That's what Rob had. Okay, Rob
Yo, Miss
Google.
Park's plastic surgery. She get breast implants.
Oh my goodness.
No,
this is it.
I genuinely believe that we have changed Google by talking about this so much. Her and Nancy Pelosi. Like now Nancy, if you just type in Nancy Pelosi, see what else comes up.
Bro, where'd you see the pictures? I
You
have
were
on
the
my
first
desk?
person to recognize. She's been a politician for 50 years.
I have her picture
Andrew
on my
Schulz
desk.
shows up. He's like, heavies.
I mean, unbelievable set of tits on that.
They're
fucking woman.
ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. She's 82?
Yeah.
Get out of here,
Wait a minute.
dude.
Is she really 82?
Look at them things.
Bro.
Look at them things.
Bro, no fronting. When she was 21, she must have been just a killer.
Crazy.
Have you
Crazy.
seen her at 21 or something meeting John F. Kennedy?
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Have you
Look
seen
at
that
the
picture?
Can you find that, Rob? I wanna see
Find
that.
Pelosi with John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then see what she looks like. See what she was right there. Zoom in.
What?
Yup.
Yeah.
She was
Looks like
banging.
Audrey
Yup.
Hepburn.
Banging.
Yup.
And look at the smile on his face.
Damn right.
How would a Nancy Pelosi end up meeting JFK in 1960?
This all
I
makes
don't know.
sense, though.
I
What do you
can't
mean?
imagine.
This
I can't
makes
imagine.
sense.
I have no
She's
clue how that could
connected. Mira, she connected, man.
Nah, he said
Was
he
her
could get a
family-
table at Carbone on a Friday.
It's a hard find here in Miami, 100%.
How many girls have you said I can get you a table at Carbone?
The 8 o'clock res or the 10 o'clock res? It's a big
Res.
10 o'clock res.
Come on,
Forget it.
I'll never forget Adam. The first time I'm chilling with Adam, we walk into a place. Where were we? Miami or one of these spots. And mind you, Andrew, I'm new here. I'm from the East Coast. I'm just like trying to come in, and as we walk in, I'm trying to we got our IDs, and I'm like, so Adam, who are we gonna? Adam's already in a group of girls. Like, yeah, so that's Vinny, and he was this guy doesn't waste
Carbone, 10 o'clock.
any
I mean,
time.
here we go. I gotta make my
time.
money.
He's like, Vinny, he already sold the resume to me, and she's like, oh, so you're a comedian from there. I'm like, God damn, he doesn't waste any time.
Okay, I got a question. Do you have daughters?
I do.
Okay. Because I was living here for 4 months, I was concerned about raising daughters here.
It depends on where you're raising them. You're not raising them in a club, bro.
Nah, but still, it's like
Miami.
you get caught up in things. Like I lived here for 4 months, right? And I almost got caught up a little bit. I was like, "Oh, I want a car. I think, I want an old car. Like I want a stupid old car.
I got 64 Thunderbird.
No, I wanted
A Chevy Astro.
I wanted a Speedster."
Okay.
And a 1957 Porsche Speedster, and I ended up getting a fake one because I wasn't going to spend $500,000 on a fucking car.
James
Smart
Dean.
move.
That's
Save
a
that money.
sick car.
It's a
by the way.
fucking beautiful.
Sick.
You have it? You got it?
What
I
color?
got a fake one. Yeah.
What color?
The one I
shit.
got was it's like a British racing green with a tan.
this
Now I
is
know
the-
to do British racing green,
Yeah.
German car, it's a little whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's fake anyway, so I don't give
Sick.
a
Oh,
fuck.
he has a
Okay.
shirt.
Yeah, but
No one knows the difference, by the way, just so you know that.
It's the same.
No one knows the difference. Yeah.
So what does this have to do with Miami?
My point is I grew up in New York. I didn't get a license until I was 20 years old. Like I didn't give a fuck about these things. And I'm almost being influenced. So if you're a young girl here, my goal in life is that my daughter doesn't fuck a guy driving an orange car. Right? Like
Number one
if
goal.
there's no orange car, if an orange car pulls up to my lot and I know my daughter's sucking a guy's dick in an orange car, this is like heartbreaking for me.
And
like I failed as a
I think you have to be more worried about your daughter watching Disney than living in Miami.
Hold on. Are they making movies about orange cars? Is that what you're trying to say? Is it not a magic carpet anymore? It's a fucking orange Lamborghini. Is that what it is?
Where do you live right now?
It's
Are
just
you?
that-
It was just like, it was so tacky, and I'm like, there's no way that you like this thing.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's just look at me. Nobody even knows what the fuck is going on under the hood. There's no appreciation of it all. It's like, I completely care about consumption, and that's it, and the value it brings me. And I got a little scared, and I was like, could I instill enough values in my daughter? Could my wife instill enough values in our daughter that she would look for a guy that treated her kindly and loved her and cared about her and wouldn't be influenced maybe by her friends who are like, no, let's just go to the clubs, blah, blah, blah.
So do you have a daughter?
Not yet.
No,
This
not yet.
hypothetical daughter that you don't have, you don't
think-
want
Well,
to
you
go
get
and-
married
That's
for
how
a
it starts.
reason.
Yeah.
You got to plan a little bit.
100%. Gotcha.
You
But
know?
so what was your experience like in Miami?
I loved
4
it.
months.
I
Okay,
loved
of
it.
course.
I loved it.
You loved
Where,
it so
where,
much
do-
you
where
got
do you live
married
now?
afterwards.
Where do you live now?
In New York.
You live in New York.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
thinking about moving here or no?
No. I really liked it. And I was trying to I was like, can I do like 6 months, 7 months, 6 months? Like Miami embraced us in a way that was unbelievable. Like Miami's one of these really cool places, and I'll give them this. And I think it's like Miami's like Latin America's version of America. You know how like Hawaii is like Asia's version of America?
Yeah.
Like you go there, you're like, this is America. But is it? Like that is what Miami was. And with that comes this like incredible like welcomingness, right? Where in New York, everybody's trying to act like they're not impressed. You know, and in LA, people are just so absorbed with whatever's hot. Doesn't matter if it's like quality or not. It's just like, this is a hot thing. But here it was like, oh, you moved down here? Dude, you got to come by the restaurant, or dude, you got to come by the office. Like everybody was so inviting about like even getting a coffee. Oh, this one's on us. And I was like, wow, this is like a beautiful place. I want that. I want my kids to feel that. So I was very close. I was very close.
Are you at a phase of your, because right now you can live anywhere. You're going to do specials and do well, right? You don't have to be in New York. Or do you see it as a career thing? It still makes sense to stay in New York and not move to another place?
For stand-up, New York provides a couple things. It's like, one, I can get on stage more and probably better quality stage time. Quality stage time means not like the people here aren't quality, but there's like 5 or 6 clubs that can do 4 or 5 shows a night instead of maybe in a city like Miami, there might be like 1 show a night that's like really good.
Got it.
And the other ones you're
It's not even close, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. As someone who did stand up in Miami, like New York is like head and shoulders above
And
any city in the country.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
LA might be just a little bit less. I mean, New York is the mecca, but like in LA, I could have done factory, store, an
Improv.
improv, the ha-ha. You just boom, 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 boom,
Has
boom.
Austin caught up to LA or no?
I don't
Austin's
know.
third?
No,
No,
I don't
not
think so.
yet.
Who's third? Is Austin third?
In the
If it's
States?
New York, LA, who's third?
Chicago.
I mean, I would
Austin?
probably do Austin before Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just because Rogan has just so much energy around him, and so far he's picked like a few things to do in his life, and then been the best at all of them.
Yeah.
So it's like I think he'll figure out comedy out there.
And who's not going to go flock to where he's at
100%.
during that war? I mean, if you're smart, you got to do that.
100%.
Especially if you're coming up, not established.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, and the other thing for me with the podcast is I like having guests, and it's harder. I'm sure you guys go through this. Like, if you're willing to travel, maybe you can make that happen. But I want to have these guests, and when you're in a New York or you're in an LA, these people end up kind of blending in. They're there, and it becomes a little more convenient. So I like building that. And also, just I was too happy down here, to be honest with you. I know that sounds like a joke, but it was like genuine. Like, I didn't think of a single joke for 4 months.
Because you kind of want to be in a state of miserableness and complaining and curmudgeon. This mother.
Comedy's complaining.
Yes.
And you do it in a funny way, so people tolerate it. But like in like Miami, it was just everybody there. The vibe
What a
was like
freaking perspective.
Because life is good, man. Life is really good.
Literally, it's like
hey, no problem, no problem.
It's like, what are you
you're 20
pushing
minutes
back
late.
against?
It's okay, brother. It's okay.
I found myself
Yeah.
like writing jokes about like the driving being bad, and I was like, I need to go back to New York. I was like,
Boy, my arm's tired.
Yeah.
Man. What?
I'm like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
you're like,
This
honey,
is
we're
getting
getting
bad.
the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
I'm leaving right now.
Literally, that was why, because down there was like everybody was like, spend time with your family, enjoy, and party. And I was like, I'm not pushing back against any of this. I
Right.
want to party. I
The
wanna
lifestyle
enjoy.
is so much better in Miami.
Yeah.
But if you're still in grind mode, dude, you got to be in New York for that phase.
I like pushing back against outrage, especially if
So
the
how about we
outrage
do
is
that?
unjustified.
If I have your permission, guys,
Yeah,
why
let's
don't
do
we
it.
complain a little bit? Why don't
Let's
we just
do it.
I'm serious. Like, honestly, we're having a little too much fun.
Yeah.
Rob, I want you to pull up what I just texted you. Put it up. None of you guys know I'm putting up the story. I want to see what you're going to say about it.
shit.
Tell me if there's logic in this, if it makes sense.
Oh, this is good.
Pull this one up. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. This story just came out, okay? So, U.S. women's soccer team will pocket at least $6.5 million from the men's team reaching the World Cup knockout rounds, more than they received for winning 2 successive World Cups. So, did you guys understand the story? So, they get $13 million. I'll read it. U.S. Women's National Cup. So, right there. The men's national team is now guaranteed a prize of $13 million after its 1-0 win. They're going to go into the final 16. Meaning the U.S. women's national team will take a cut of $6.5 million. If the men win their match against Netherlands on Saturday to reach the quarterfinals, they'll be taking home a minimum of $17 million. What do you think about this concept of whatever men do, we have to pay half of it to women? I mean, Andres,
Fair and equal.
that's what it is, yeah. That kid, he's right.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I got to look more. I did a whole piece on the U.S. women's national team when they were complaining about getting the deal that they wanted, which a lot of people don't know is they asked for their original deal. They were the ones that petitioned for it, and then they didn't want to have it afterwards. So we did a whole piece of that during the pandemic. But yeah, it seems absolutely ridiculous. I think it's it just seems a bit. I mean, I don't know. Get paid what you generate. Eat what you kill. Seems like the most reasonable situation.
Adam, what do you think about this?
Well, I'm going to bring up one of Andrew Schulz's jokes here. I'm not going to do a copyright thing. This is yours. I'm saying that up front. But in your special Infamous, you address these types of issues. Feminism, you were like, that was the part in the crowd where you were like, "No, I think we're on the same page here, guys.
Yeah.
We're all, I went to one of these feminist marches. They're screaming, free the nipple. You're like, sounds good to me. Right? All right, I think we should have abortion. It's like, yeah, that'd be good. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Like, you were like,
We need to pay for
we
our
need
half.
to pay for our half. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, are you guys feminists or fuckboys? Right? That whole joke right there.
Yeah.
How feminists are becoming the men
That they hated.
That they hated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was such an amazing perspective and the way that you kind of
thank you,
teed
man.
it up with the audience.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's essentially this right here.
Yeah.
This is redistribution of wealth, though, right? And this is something you're not actually a fan of, I assume, right?
You know why? Because, okay, so we talked to our expert Malik, and I said, who gets paid on the women's side, who makes the most money? And Malik out of nowhere says, well, women make more money in porn and modeling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
100%
Malik,
for that,
you
Malik.
watch a little too much porn, Malik. They just said, I hope you're in the back watching, paying attention, not watching other clips on
He's
your
not
phone.
watching, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Performing,
He's busy.
He's not
Pay
watching.
check to check.
You're
That's
looking
not
at.
Malik.
I was about to say.
No, that's Rob.
I was like, who named him? Disney?
Whitest dude ever.
Holy shit! Fucking white Malik.
His dad's from the Caribbean.
That's how you got to name yourself, so they don't think you stormed the Capitol. They're like, no, I wasn't there. I'm Malik.
Yeah, my name's Malik.
I'm not John Johnson. I'm Malik.
Like, all right.
I am Malik.
Get away from that guy.
Yep. Definitely not me.
Oh, that's so freaking
it's so
funny,
true.
dude.
So if you say that, so women, female models, they're making a lot more money than
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Let's take it and split it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, why
There's
do
no
so many
logic
women
behind it.
go to college, man? That's unfair.
64% to 36%. Yeah.
We got to stop women from
Yeah.
learning,
Yeah.
bro.
It's a good
Like,
point.
according to that, we should stop at least 14% of these women going out there and learning. Or I
sound-
guess maybe the population's like 55,
Yeah.
45.
Yeah.
But still, it's absurd. Yeah.
You sound very red-pilled right now.
Dude,
by
I'm
the way.
so red pill manosphere, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, man.
But you
So manosphere, dude.
you've dealt in that world though. You've interviewed a bunch of these guys, no?
I know it's like, why are you guys so afraid of women, man? It's like they're great, they love you. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid of them. Like you don't have to like dunk on them all the time. There's a lot of great women that are out there. I think I need to see more like married red pill dudes. You know what I mean? Because there's like it's very rare that I see like guys in happy marriages just dunking on women all the time. That's what I say. Like I'm not taking advice from single dudes on how to be with women.
Straight up, huh?
I mean, like, if it's how to get some pussy, sure, tell me.
Yeah.
But if it's how to, like, build a life and have children, like,
Yeah, if you're trying to get
what
laid,
you gonna tell me about getting married?
yeah.
Well,
You know
they
what I
would
mean?
tell you not to get married, or they would tell you that marriage is a bad deal for men, or if you're going to get married, you're going to need a prenup. I assume you had this conversation with Fresh and Fit and these guys?
Yeah, we had it with them. I don't know. I feel like they operate from a place of fear, man, and I don't think that that's healthy. I don't want to teach men to be afraid.
I think it's more risk assessment than anything. Like, we're in the insurance business. That's
life
how
is risk, man.
That's true. Every time you walk out the door.
It's risk. You go for it. You try to build something. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Except if you're Adam, you stay single and you
Adam, you didn't
prevent
get
a lot-
married, bro.
All right. I'm willing to accommodate.
Does she have to be Jewish?
No.
Oh, really?
I haven't dated a Jewish girl in 10 years, Andrew
Oh
Schulz.
shit.
That's the problem.
Well, because Kanye is telling
it.
me, stay away from the Jews. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I don't.
Yeah, he's
I'm
done.
By the way,
Jewish,
did
but-
you see what Kanye just did?
I
Did
mean,
you-
this is a wild guy.
did you-
It's rare that you're on a podcast with Alex Jones and Alex is the normal one. Like, Alex is like, what's going on?
Chill out, dude. Jesus.
What is
Andrew
happening?
Schulz just hit it. When Alex
Go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Yeah.
When Alex Jones is distancing himself from you, you got some problems.
And,
bro.
and when he's
Alex,
like,
Alex Jones like, no, Kanye, we don't fuck with Nazis, right? right?
yeah.
he's
like,
giving him the.
I love Hitler, bro.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Are you this when Alex Jones is deferring to extremeness?
Oh God.
And he's just like,
if you get the calm down from him, it's over.
unbelievable.
Can I
Read
let
the
me
story,
just
guys.
read
Go
it.
ahead.
Let me read it because this just happened. So Kanye West tells Alex Jones, "I like Hitler." This is what he says. Ye's appearance on far-right conspiracy theory outlet InfoWars turned into a chance to preach anti-Semitic hatred. Now, keep in mind, this is a Daily Beast story. As the star formerly known as Kanye West praised Adolf Hitler within the first 30 minutes of the broadcast. Ye, whose face was entirely hidden behind a black mask. If you can show that, Malik in the back, not Malik here, began
I'm calling
praising
him
the-
Malik from now on, bro.
genocidal
Rob, you're
German-
That beard, he's like Philadelphia. That's what you like.
So here's what happened. He says, "You're not Hitler," Jones said. "You're not a Nazi." Well, I see good things about Hitler. This is what he said. Later adding, every human being has value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. Now, this is what Kanye just said.
And then he
okay?
gave highways. He gave credit to highways to Hitler for some reason.
Yeah, he didn't make highways.
I
did
don't
he?
think Hitler made highways,
No, I don't think so.
but he
He's
was
trying
like,
to say that everyone has something good about
Well,
them.
no,
Yeah.
Hitler was known for being very much a. If you read,
I thought you were gonna be. He could make a highway.
no. But what he was a guy that liked buildings. If you
Right.
read the book Mein Kampf for some of his material,
Yeah.
he was a guy that liked buildings. So if he says that, I'm not sure if he built roads or not, but that was his area of interest.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but I'm not sticking up for Kanye at all. But it's like going off age. Like what if like in all this craziness, you're like, dude, He bowled a 235, consistent. He was a fucking good. Like, yes, he did what he did, but did you ever see the guy bowl? Like, he had some good. You can't say he didn't have anything.
But
good.
it's one of those things where it's like, do you need to say it?
Exactly that. Like,
You know
shut the fuck. Okay, he can bowl. But we don't need to hear about it, bro.
Like Bill Cosby made a mean cup of coffee.
But guess what? He put shit in it at the end.
So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I think that he's trying to be, inflammatory. The thing about Kanye is that, like, none of these ideas are his own. Like, Kanye is just finding out that he's not as good a producer of intellectual thought as he is of music.
I agree.
And what he's always done is just sampled things, and that's what a great producer will do. He'll be like, ooh, that sound is really great. That sound is really great. And when I blend them together, I can make some of the greatest music ever. But now he's doing that with rhetoric, and he's just trying to get attention, which is what he did obviously with music. And it's just he's not good enough at it. He's not good enough at making these things cool. He can make music cool. He can take music you would think you would never listen to and put it together, and you go, holy shit, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
He's not good enough at talking to make the things that he says cool and fun. Now, he can be hilarious. It's undeniable. The guy's, even when he's saying the most fucked up things, you're like, holy shit, is he really, did he bring out a Yahoo for Netanyahu? Did you see that? He brought out a net and a Yahoo because he's talking about Benjamin Netanyahu.
That is fucking
You
hilarious.
didn't see this?
When I have not seen
Same
this.
interview.
With Alex
No.
Jones?
What?
You got to be kidding me.
Talking about the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Netanyahu.
I got to talk to my buddy Benjamin Netanyahu. He goes, Netan? And then
Oh my God, dude.
you laugh.
That is hilarious, bro. That is
So let me ask you, how much of this, like on Twitter, I posted the story, and a guy responds back and he says something which, on what responding to what Matt Walsh said. I don't know if you guys saw what
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh responded, and he said, I want to read this to you. If you can go to I don't know if you can pull this up or not, but I do, if I could find it. So he says, well, what's the difference between what Kanye is doing? Is that it? Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, if I was an optimistic man, I would at least hope that Kanye West's mental breakdown and self-immolation would persuade conservatives to stop falling madly in love with every celebrity who says one thing they agree with. But I'm not an optimistic man. Kanye is a former artistic genius who's been unraveling for years now, pushed and prodded along by people who pretend to be in his corner. It's sad to watch. The whole thing is just sad. Okay, so a guy said, well, what's wrong with what he did when he says love all people? One guy says, Jesus loved all people, Matt. What do you say about what he's doing? Okay, so they're going back and forth, right? How much of what he's doing, one guy said it's pure self-sabotage. He's not even aware that this is taking place. Does he know what he's doing? Does he not know what he's doing where he's self-sabotaging? Is he self-aware? Is there like an outcome? This is going to be my campaign because Trump went out there and said a few things and then it worked for him. This is how I'm going to get all these people behind me. What do you think he's doing? Does he know or does he not know what he's doing?
I think that he's addicted to attention. I think he's hurt, probably. Like, you're famous for long enough. You've been taken advantage enough in your life because people find ways to extract money from you, right? So I think it's very easy to be hurt and feel restricted. And he's probably a guy who wants complete freedom, but he's not willing to put up the money for it. So like when you look at Kanye's history, he put up money to try to create a fashion brand, and he lost $25 million or some shit like that. So now apparently he's very averse to ever putting money up. So he's like, I got these ideas, but he's not willing to put the money up. So with the Adidas thing, it's like, you don't have to do it with Adidas. Make your own shit.
Yeah.
Oh, but you don't want to put the money up.
Exactly.
So once you sign the deal for someone else's money, they're going to have a say. And that's just what it is. I think it's a gift to give the guy to call him crazy. Like, we only call people crazy that we love, right? Like, people love Kanye, so they're willing to go, he's just crazy. There's no such mental illness as like, I hate Jews now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you get depressed and you're like, ugh, I really hate the Jews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you are choosing to take that anguish or despair you're going through and like funnel it into a lens, but it's still a choice to do it. And I don't know if we would accept the same thing. I don't know if somebody was like hating Asians or hating black people, if we would go, I think it's having a little bout of mental illness. I don't know if we'd give that up to them.
I think there's two things going on here with him. Clearly, he's not willing. This is number one. Clearly, he's not willing to seek counsel or listen to somebody. I'm sure there's people telling him, Kanye, bro, I've been your friend for X amount of years. I've been a business partner of yours. I'm a fellow rapper of yours. I'm a political figure. Brother, you gotta stop. And he's just like, don't tell me what to do, dog. You can't tell me what to do. Like, there's that.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
And everybody in his corner is making money off him. And that's the trickiest thing is like when everybody around you making money off you, they're not going to be honest.
You're oblivious. You got blind spots.
But now he's losing all this money.
Yeah.
Number two, if I may, the whole Jewish thing.
Yeah.
Clearly he was burned by some Jewish business partners. Okay, let's just back up a second. He was worth, as of like a month ago, a couple $1 billion.
They did all right.
Yeah, they were doing okay for you, Kanye.
Yeah.
But what's transpired in the last few months?
Yeah.
Okay, number one, so these Jewish business partners, record executives, maybe took a little off the top. He still was worth $1 billion.
Took a little
but
off
then
the
go
top.
deeper. Then go deeper. So these Jewish record executives go deeper. He's getting a divorce from Kim. Sure, Kim's lawyer was Jewish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So another Jew's fuck with me. And who's Kim fucking after that? Pete Davidson. I guess he's kind of Jewish, right? And you see what he did now? Allegedly, you can Google this. He is now converting to Judaism to troll Kanye.
That's hilarious.
This is what's happening
funny.
right now.
Funny.
That's funny. Shout out Pete. That is fucking hilarious.
That is really funny.
Pete Davidson converts to Judaism and latest Kanye troll. I don't know what he went through, but like,
Is that wait? Can you look at that picture? Is that really him?
hey-o.
That's
So
funny.
here's
Is
the
that
point.
real?
Here's the
Good
point.
shit.
He's not willing to listen. When even people he trusts are like, dude, just whatever it is, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And then he's just double, tripling, quadrupling down on the Jewish thing.
Yeah.
And then like the business, Kim's lawyer, he has to pay her $200,000 a month.
For child
Okay.
support.
And that's based on what he made for the last 5 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Not what he's worth now. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And then just to add insult to injury, the skinny tatted up dude that's been fucking your wife.
Yeah.
Is now converting to Judaism to fucking. So he's just got so much hate in his heart right now.
Yeah.
And we talked about what power versus force. Would you please just explain that? And we can even pull it up right there.
Power versus.
So this is a powerful book. So I read this 20 years ago. Just go to images.
Yeah.
Go to images. The way he describes it, the difference between power, and go
right.
all the way to the right with the colors. Yeah, click on it and zoom in.
There's a smaller one that's not so ridiculous.
This is a book Kanye must read today. Zoom in, so everybody can see it. So there's levels to power versus force, okay? At the lowest level, zoom out a little bit, zoom out a little bit, zoom out a little bit. Yeah, all the way to the left side. It starts with shame. So you're ashamed. You're humiliated, which Kanye is right now, humiliated. Guilt, so you blame. He's blaming Kim and everybody else. Apathy, feel sorry for me. Nobody. That's the lowest level of power. Grief, regret. Maybe he regrets something with his marriage, with career, whatever he did. Fear, he's afraid it's creating anxiety. Every low level area is him. Then it's got desire. He's craving attention, which is what Andrew just talked about right now. Then it's anger. He's angry, produces hate. None of those qualities are attractive. Then it's pride. He's scorning.
Down, yeah.
He won't back down. So the first
lowest level of humanity.
The first levels that you actually have some power and you're free, it's courage.
Yeah.
Okay? Courage to be wrong. Neutral. Let me hear both sides out. You're willing to improve. You're accepting people's mistakes. You're willing to reason. Love, joy, and then obviously all the way at the highest level. When you look at this, I'm like, if Kanye read this book, if he was willing, if he had the courage, if he was accepting that there's some of it on him, I don't know. I think you'd have a different way.
Andrew, where are you at in this? Do you think you're at love or you're at joy?
I have no fucking clue. I'm trying to think. Like, this is with your life in general, or this is just with each issue that you come across?
No, this is where you're at with the way you approach life. This is where you're at with the way you approach life. You know, for a lot of us, you know, you start at the bottom and you kind of work your way up. Some people are actually, you know, naturally at a good level.
Yeah.
But some that grew up in shitty environments and, you know, upbringing and divorces and parents and drugs and gangs and financial issues, and you have a lot of stuff to be upset about. And so to recover from that doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's weird. I feel incredibly lucky and incredibly grateful. You know, I hope that I can, like, judge people's actions, at least towards me, that are maybe unsavory, you know, based on what they're going through. But I think a lot of that comes from finally maybe achieving success that I always wanted, so I'm not operating in a deficit. But I also remember, you know, operating in a deficit, and then how you feel like the world is kind of against you and you kind of like lash out in that way. So, yeah, hopefully I'm getting on that top half right there, and definitely some of those feelings,
And it's not about money, Andrew, but a part of it is, right? Success and all that. Like you told the story about how like when you didn't have money and you were complaining and everything, and then obviously when you had money, you're like, I don't know, Utah sounds nice. It's a different vibe in your life.
Yeah, it's less like the money. Like I've never done anything specifically for money. Like I always found like chasing greatness, the money will kind of find you, but because of like the rarity of greatness. But like money does offer this really cool thing, which is I want to experience in my life. Like I want to know what it's like to completely check out from. To use the manosphere term, if you will, the Matrix. Like I want to know what it's like to do everything in my life because I want to do it, not because I have to. Mm-hmm. And maybe you guys are already
Unplugging from
there.
the Matrix is what you're talking.
Exactly.
About.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
take
like
the red pill, Andrew.
Listen, I'm on it. No, but like I believe it's like so rare because I don't think it's like very natural to do that as a human. So I'm curious, like, and I don't know how much money you got. I think I know you got some money.
I'm borrowing money from.
You're borrowing. But like when you get to the point where you don't have to work,
Right.
Yeah.
a weird thing happens. You have to find something that you want. What I've always done is like I've gone, I'm going to do what I love and find a way to make money at it because I don't want to do something I don't love because that's going to drive me crazy. But if I love something, then I can put everything in it and I can just give it my all. And I just love every day. Like I love going to the studio when I work. I love solving problems. I love these things. But what happens when you don't have to? That's what I'm curious. And like, do you remember that moment? Like, was it depressing a little bit? Like, you almost stop being part of human evolution, right? Like, up until people weren't supposed to have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get it. That's not how your brain is designed. Do you have to trick your brain into thinking you're still surviving?
It's a very good question. By the way, this whole Utah thing coming out, are you talking about Pete Davidson with wanting to be a Jew? Are you thinking about joining the Church of Mormon or LDS? Is that kind of where you're going with this? Is that with the life change? You're moving to Utah,
Andrew.
Bro,
Joseph Smith. Is that the direction you're going?
No, not at. It's so funny because I went there for.
It's a great place, by the way.
I went there for Thanksgiving. I didn't know it's on Navajo land.
Oh wow!
So I'm spending Thanksgiving on fucking Native American.
Wow.
No alcohol, dry county.
I'm not worried about dry. I'm just getting the saddest happy Thanksgivings from these motherfuckers. Like it is the most tragic fucking day. Like it was brutal. And it's a little chilly in the morning. So like when you're eating outside, they're like, "Can we offer you a blanket or something?" I'm like, I ain't falling for that one. You know? but no, I am really curious. What happens in life when you can unplug?
So when you can, when it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Right. So this is everything from, at least for me, I like things to be clear systems, steps, where the more clarity I have, the better I do, the more distracted I am, the worse I do. So the key for me is clarity. And anticipation is one of the biggest advantages you can have if you anticipate. Like what you just did right on the podcast, you may not even be aware of it. You anticipate it. Like, what's going to happen to my daughter if I'm living in Miami and she's dating, she's sucking, you're anticipating what happens. I mean, I was thinking about having a daughter at 23 years old. Am I ready to have a daughter? Do I want to have that fear? I had that fear at 23 years old. Yeah. You're anticipating. Your question you're asking right now is anticipating. I broke it down in 4 20-year runs. First 20-year, don't make a big stupid mistake, okay? Second 20-year, go make your money, okay? Third 20-year, pursue whatever you want, creative by choice. Last 20-year, contribution, where you want to go, politics, you want to go do, whatever you want to do, that's the last one if you want to go do anything with that. Okay, so that breakdown is, okay, I got to make my money first. A guy calls me from Hollywood who says, hey, man, I watch your podcast closely, but I can't talk like you. You think I should open up a podcast and really tell people how I feel? I said, how much money you got in the bank? He says, about $800,000. I said, what do you got in every asset, stocks, everything? I said, about $1.4 million. I said, how old are you? 35 years old, 38 years old. I said, okay, you don't have FU money yet. Because if you do that in Hollywood, you're done.
You're done.
Yeah. If you're Clint Eastwood, say whatever the hell you want to say. You got $500 million in the bank, you're good to go, right? So it's different for you because you're a comedian. You get paid to talk shit. So you're a little bit more free to say that. But first time I had 10 grand in the bank, I was 21. I had got out of the Army. It was freaking awesome. First time I had 100 grand, I was like, that's pretty tight. First time I had $1 million in the bank, it was cool. It was like, this is legit, $1 million. But 10 grand, believe it or not, felt more special than $1 million.
10 grand was the best.
First time, 10 million, it was like, oh, 10 million, you actually felt free.
Yeah.
But when it hit a couple hundred, it's a different story. When you kind of sitting here like,
His eyes.
yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, and I don't know how big you're doing, but like there's the number that is fuck you money for you.
Yeah.
And that number keeps growing.
But I'm not there yet, though. Yeah.
Well, where is it?
Yeah,
It's
where is it?
Well, I don't think. Okay, so because love of the game. Let's talk about the love of the game.
Yeah.
Does Joe need to do more podcasts because he needs money? Does Joe need to do, like, you know how you watch the UFC? What's the best reaction Joe has with Cormier? Oh, he does. I mean, everybody wants to see that, right? It's like how LeBron does whatever he does with DeSantis. Like, you just want to see Joe do this, right? It's sick. Everybody reacts to it. You know, there is something very special about a guy who loves the game he's playing.
Yep.
It's such a freaking beautiful thing to see. You sit there, you say, dude, I just know you love your freaking game.
Yep.
And I want to watch you do it.
Yep.
I watch you do it. I feel the love of the game.
Yep.
So for me, I draw from that. I'm attracted to that, right? If I see somebody that's doing it for them, like NBA, there's some guys, like I wrote about a guy named Andrew Bynum, went into the game. The guy didn't love the game. He was just 7'1", 260 pounds. Dude, give this guy $100 million. It's hard to find a 7'1", 260 guy, right? But you see a Steph Curry play, the guy freaking loves the game.
Oh, he's having fun.
Dude, Steph Curry may be, to me, the most exciting guy to want to watch because he loves the damn game. Yeah. So when it becomes about the love of the game, it's no longer money. You're pursuing something else. So unfortunately, if you're solving money, 100%, you're eventually going to slow down. If you're pursuing a true vision, cause, purpose, love of the game, it's tough to slow down. Every night I come home, my kids want to play domino. We love the game of dominoes, like the love of the game for us. So that's how I would explain it to you.
Also, another reason why I don't want to grow up in Miami, dominoes. No. No, but
it's plenty of dominoes in New York, though.
You're right. No, but the thing about love of the game, which is interesting, is you don't know that it's pure until you make enough money to not play.
Very good point.
Go.
Very good point.
So it's like Steph already had enough contracts. He don't got to play basketball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the love of the game for you, I'm assuming, is multifaceted. You
Absolutely.
like building businesses,
Yeah.
but you're into this game as well.
Yeah.
And then maybe aspirations of politics.
Maybe we find somebody like you and put you in the White House. Maybe we do certain things like that.
First of all, that's big money talk right there.
Yeah.
That's big money talk. When I'm a puppet. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
so funny.
that's how rich people talk about politics. Listen, keep in mind, these politicians are broke.
So funny.
They are broke.
Yeah.
They will put you in.
Classic.
Put you in. That
Classic.
is
Manchurian
No, but
candidate.
you know what it is. Let me kind of explain that part in maybe a different way that it'll make sense to you. Like, dude, I'm the guy that in Iran I watched Rocky IV in Farsi a couple hundred times. You know, and the best part in Farsi is in the movie is what? You know, at the beginning of the fight, you know, I noticed you rooting this, and at the end, if you can change and I can change, anybody can change. And he was kind of, the whole concept of the movie was, let's bring Russia and U.S. together, right? Unify.
Which broke down the USSR.
By the way, half of my family is communist. Half of my family at the time was imperialist. So half my family loved America. Half my family hated America. So I'm kind of like, shit.
Yeah.
This makes sense with me. So there's that pure, direct experience as a kid living in Iran. So that passion, experience, right? Then I go to Germany. I live at a refugee camp. I'm kind of watching all this stuff saying, man, this is pretty crazy what's going on, hanging out with all these Albanians and Yugoslavian and Czechoslovakian. These countries don't even exist anymore. You're like, hey, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? You're learning immediate education on different cultures, right? Like it's what's the word? Fast track, learn about 40 different countries in 18 months at 10 years old. Kind of what happens when you're living at a refugee camp. Then you come to the States. I'm the guy that we would leave Wilson Junior High School and we would walk down home and it'd be like 8 of us. And I'd say, Andrew, question for you. Who do you want to be, Andrew? You got 4 choices. You can be the richest man in the world. You can be the president. You can be the best athlete like Michael Jordan, or you can be the best performer like Michael Jackson. Who do you want to be? And then you would go. And then we would play this imagination game, right? Always living in La La Land, dreams, all this stuff. Army, camaraderie, group together, sitting down, talking shit, drinking, sarcastic with you, talking shit to him. He can't handle it. He's sensitive. So we really go out for a couple hours. We light him up tomorrow morning at freaking formation. You know, that was, believe it or not, the Army's filled with great comedians. They just don't know they're great comedians. We're just not, the camaraderie in the Army. Pay me $5 a month, but give me a crew of running mates having a blast, dude. Forget about the money. So the passion of like this right here, right? This is the camaraderie is a very special thing. Then I got into business, and I like numbers. I like numbers a lot. Like to me, I'm just looking at the numbers right in the middle. Everything to me is numbers, right? I'm a math guy. Even though I'm a 1.8 GPA guy, I love numbers. So I got into financial service. I'm like, gosh, shit, numbers are pretty interesting. And then I learned sales, and then I learned competition. And then I like Hollywood, comedy, movies, sports, combine all those together. I said, dude, we have to do a lot of things. So for us, our vision today with what we want to do, everything that was on my list, I'm in pursuit of. Whether I hit it or not, I don't know. But and by the way, that pursuit, oh my God, is freaking such a high. Like you're in pursuit right now. You're in pursuit, right? Like I watched Marcelo, comedian that's now with SNL. He was with us for a year. He was working for us.
Like little brother. Bro.
Yeah, Marcelo was his producer for like every day he was at our office. And I would watch Marcelo. I'm like, this kid really believes in himself.
Yeah.
He's a dreamer. You got to love this guy.
And he had a vision too.
The pursuit, that pursuit is attractive. So the pursuit,
I'm most miserable when I'm not pursuing something. And it can be long pursuits or short pursuits. It could be a little project that I want to get excited and I want to execute. But if I don't have a thing that I'm working towards, even if I'm doing the things that are generally exciting that I enjoy, it's not as fun. It's not as exciting. I need that thing. I need the carrot. And the more money you have and financial freedom you have, the more you have to incentivize yourself with the carrot. Because it's very easy for the carrot to be rent, but like when you don't got to worry about it. Now, what's the carrot?
Which I'll tell you, like, think about what Elon is doing right now. Okay, Musk. I said, I believe Twitter is going to be $1 trillion company 6 months ago. Okay, and I made a video about it. I said, if this guy buys it, it's going to be $1 trillion company in no time. 3 to 5 years, it's $1 trillion company. You're out of your mind. Scott Galloway, he'll never even buy it. He's bullshitting you guys. You think he's going to buy it? He's just faking it. You guys are idiots, Galloway.
He's so
Professor
annoying,
Galloway. Yeah, smart.
My wife got her MBA at NYU, and that guy's so fucking annoying.
There's some things he says that's good. There's some things he says you're like, what are you talking about?
Schulz, you're not an Elon Musk guy?
By the way, do you know this guy? Do you know this Galloway guy?
Scott Galloway.
No, he's talking about Galloway.
Gotcha.
He was, by the way, in that world, he's a god.
Well, he did write that paper about how
boys and men and all this stuff. Yeah, make money, be in shape, and have sex. Yeah.
And then he got like shit on for it, I think. And then he like apologized on his podcast. I mean, it was just really.
It's a little. But anyways,
but he's like a deity in that world.
Yeah, he is.
And NYU, right?
He's like a Michael Porter guy.
Yeah. NYU, kind of like I don't know what you would call that. The what is it? Collegiate intellectual sphere. I think he is.
You know, he had a show on CNN Plus. They crushed it. I don't know if you heard about that.
He's killing it right now.
It blew up. So but anyways, you look at Elon. Elon's not chasing money. Elon's like, hey, I think I can take Twitter to 1 billion active users. Dude, if you take Twitter to 1 billion active users, 10% pay $8 a month. That's $800 million a month in revenue.
That's sick.
That's $10 billion a year in revenue. Yeah. Bro, you don't need any advertising. You tell everybody to screw off. I don't need any of this stuff. Then all of a sudden it's $1 trillion. So the solution, his method of doing it that works so well, he solves for what is my solution, how different's going to be. He goes and gathers intel from everybody. He doesn't come up with all the ideas. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then all of a sudden he's rich. So, but if you flip it and it's only the money you're chasing, you will slow down.
Could I ask you guys a question? Do you guys think, Andrew, I'm going to ask all you guys, do you guys think his motive for the Twitter takeover was genuinely him going, we can't even talk? Was he a savior for free speech? Obviously the money's involved, but what do you think his general, like, I think genuinely, like, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, I'm not overly religious, but dude, sometimes God just plucks in these little people, because if it's not for him, you see what it is in China, bro. Regular Americans don't understand. They don't watch what's happening in China, where they're beating the shit out of these people. They have drones spraying chemicals and shit on them. They are. It's horrible over there. It's slowly mind you see what they have with their COVID lockdown shit. this country, I feel, would gladly love, not to go that extreme, but they would love to keep us locked down, make us just depending on the government. Do you guys think that that's what his motive, like Elon's shit is, that he genuinely gives a shit about us and free speech?
I think so. I think it's definitely part of it. I don't know what percentage, but I think it's also like buying a Rolex at retail, where it's like, even if you hate it, it's not going down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, he's not gonna lose money on Twitter. If he can figure out spaceships, he can figure out fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's not like the hardest thing. It's like you have the app where everybody talks. That's where all the news comes out. This is the news. He bought the news.
Yeah.
So, I think he'll figure it out. And I think the more active users, the more money it's going to generate. Even if he's not charging a monthly subscription, it's like, you want to be on the platform that everybody's on.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the government is going to get involved? Because I know the White House was like, oh, we're looking at it closely. Oh, now because it's somebody that wants free speech, now you guys are all of a sudden worried about shit.
They can only play these games for 18 months before DeSantis gets in. They're going to be
think he's doing
miserable
it?
for
You think he's
8
doing it?
years.
You get
8 years every day. They're going to have nightmares about DeSantis and Musk. They're going to be miserable.
If he does go, who do you think he's going to run with? If you had to,
What do you
pick
mean?
right now, who would be his running mate right now?
DeSantis? Oh, it's you talking about VP?
VP.
Yeah. Oh,
If you had to
it's
go
way
right
too
now,
early.
if you had to, like Adam with his Vegas bets, what would you bet right now if you had to? Because I'll bet
Mayor Suarez.
He's about to
All
announce.
Florida ticket.
He's about to announce
What?
Yeah,
that he's
President
running for
Suarez?
president.
Who is?
My guy.
Suarez.
DeSantis.
No.
Man, Suarez, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it right now.
That's my guy.
All
dude.
right? No,
That's
he's
my
a good guy. He's a sweet guy.
Don't mess with Suarez.
Don't run for
Don't
fucking
do it.
president.
Don't do it.
There's no chance. There's no Suarez, I love you.
Yeah.
Don't run for president.
You really think there's
Give
no
it some
chance?
time.
Suarez.
Mayor Suarez?
Yeah. He's about to run.
No, but he's going to run for president?
President,
You
yes.
think that he could... How many votes does he need to win like Miami? 16,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like... when the,
He's about to announce he's considering
Listen,
running.
Beloved guy.
okay, Mayor Suarez, I love you. You're a sweet guy. We text, okay? Don't fucking run for president, please. I mean this sincere. I love you, and I almost did the coffee talk with you.
Cafecito.
Cafecito.
Yes.
Don't run for fucking president, please. Please don't do that. That's a huge step. That's a huge step. Okay, look, bring him back up there.
Run for governor of Florida.
They
with
still
DeSantis,
think
please.
that you're Mario Lopez. You host fucking Entertainment Tonight. They have no clue that you're the mayor of part of Miami.
Part of my,
The
that's
part,
true.
the least interesting one.
The city of Miami, not the county.
It's not
Yeah.
even the beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get the beach first. Suarez, you don't even have beach, Fred. You got intercoastal. I need you to get beach before we go president.
Yeah.
Okay? How many votes decide Miami?
For the city of Miami, yeah, probably.
There's
a couple
11
100,000.
abuelas in fucking aprons go vote once every 4 years.
Yeah.
And they put you back in it. Please don't run for president. I love you. Don't do it just yet.
hilarious.
He's a sweet guy, though.
He's a
We
so-
came on the
total
pod.
sweet guy.
We had him on the pod. He's great.
Yeah. But back to your question about Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I think Schultz over here hit it on the head. If he could figure out how to send people to Mars and space,
Yeah.
he could figure out an app over here. I mean, that's just hello.
Yo, I'm saying the passion. I'm saying
well,
why.
And here's the why.
The
I was gonna give you that.
idea that like nerds can figure out social media.
That's true.
Like no one that creates a social app can have like a conversation, right?
Right, I
The fact
agree.
that they've been successful at that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying Elon is the best, conversationalist. You know what I mean? Like you see him on a podcast and he like malfunctions
Yeah.
and then answers the question. Right? It's like speed up the Neuralink, buddy. Like you know what I mean? Like Joe's asking us like, so what'd you do today? He's like, I woke up and like, is this the smartest guy on the planet? You're telling me this guy right here is
It's
the
like
smartest
Andrew,
guy?
it's like Zuckerberg when he was like
Zuckerberg
Congress
is way
drinking
more
water.
robotic.
It's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like he went
Way more robotic.
drink
no,
water.
he broke-
now.
no,
He's
no,
a
no,
weirdo
no.
too.
Here, but
Yeah.
here's the thing with
Poor
Elon, not to
Zuckerberg.
get all,
Zuckerberg's
not to get
adorable.
all, hearts and stars over here, but
Yeah.
he is from South Africa.
Yo, let's
He did
go
grow-
hearts and stars.
Let's do it, Adam.
Let's go. Andrew Schulz wants to get soft here. We'll get soft.
No, I love the hearts and motherfucking stars. You're talking about America right now.
Of course.
Okay,
Love
good.
But he is from South Africa.
Yeah.
He grew up under apartheid. I think that's something.
Twitter
that's
is
in
a African-owned business, bro.
That's true.
Yep.
It's
Good.
African
And
owned.
we support
Black-owned.
Disney supports Africa.
Yeah. So I think he understands that at the end of the day, like what happened there.
Yeah.
But don't forget, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, as of like 2 years ago, they were for sure Democrats.
Yes.
Joe Rogan was definitely voting for Bernie.
No. But by the way, Musk voted for Biden.
Still,
And he just said it last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my point. And then over the last 2 years, they've seen what's going on with the woke culture and California and, leftists and all that. And they're like, it's too fucking much.
Yeah.
And then all that and everything he saw in apartheid, it's all just, I think he just
you're saying he's
short-circuited.
triggered like in the same way that
Yes.
Cubans are often triggered by democratic ideology because they come from Cuba.
I come from Cuba,
Exactly,
bro. I
yeah.
can talk about that.
I love
that makes
those
sense.
guys. I
Exactly.
love those
So
anti-democrat Cuban people. 'Cause they're
Yeah,
like,
I
you
grew
have
up
no
with
idea,
them.
man.
I grew
you
up
have
with
no
them.
idea,
no
man.
idea. I had to swim here. Do you think you're swimming to Cuba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something about Elon, the apartheid, the free speech, whatever, the trigger, the human rights, it just was like, all right, I'm buying Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where it
Yeah, I
culminated.
hope. I honestly, I think he has good intentions with things. I don't know. He does. He strikes me as an honorable man in that regard. So I don't think so. Politics is always tricky, man. Like, I don't think politics is the way. I think politics is just a reflection of what the people want. Like, they're spineless. They'll change. And I think that like the scary thing about politics is like politics and like financial institutions. Those are the two ones where like if you have enough influence and you talk shit about, they will make you radioactive real quick. Like Joe was fine until he was like, yeah, I like that Bernie guy for president. Then the next day, they looking through every video he's ever done, posting things out there. He's this, he's that, the third. And the same thing I saw with, Dave Portnoy, who runs Barstool. It's like Portnoy was a hilarious guy who had a sports website. That's how the world treated him.
Yeah.
And then he started doing that. He was a daily day trader over the pandemic.
Davey Dollars.
And he was fucking with the financial markets a little bit, and they were like,
Well,
"Oh no, we're
GameStop
not
and
gonna
all
play
that.
this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about the Wall Street bets, like the kind of Reddit community, is it's decentralized. It's not one guy that you can make radioactive. When you're one dude, you're Joe or you're Dave. It's like they can bring out everything in your past.
How did they do, Andrew? And but I'm so happy you brought that up. We were just talking about before this, just like the Jerry Jones thing, where somebody out of nowhere, bro, goes, "Hey, 1957, you were standing in a dude. He's standing behind the fucking group of just white." Everybody looks the same.
What was it about? What it was about?
He was in
Little Rock, Arkansas. Pull it up.
It was when the
desegregation of
the
the school.
desegregation. They were trying to block
Jerry
these
Jones
black
happened to be
kids
there.
trying to get into the school. Like look at the front. Jerry Jones, bro. If you could zoom in, Jerry Jones is in the back, bro, standing right there.
Can we just acknowledge, like, everybody had great hair back then?
There, listen, and
You're rocking that hair.
Yeah, but I'm like,
50s,
I'm like
bro.
fucking pomade and things. Poor Malik is looking at it. He's tear
Malik's
coming out of his
beard,
eye.
yeah.
But like, look at this hair. It's stunning,
Yeah,
right?
and mind you, like it was a gel. Was it what is going on? But do you see think about it, Andrew? And he's just chilling, bro.
Bro, that guy with the cigarette does not like black people, bro.
That one's for sure.
He didn't even like the cigarette. He's like, it's on him.
I don't even go to school here. I don't think you should be
that
on
is so. This ain't even lit. Bro, so you imagine, my question was, like, those people, they could dig up and they could find. So this has been out since 1957, and then somebody goes, "Oh, you know what? Watch this, Jerry Jones, right there in the back." And mind you, he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time, just standing.
What if
just in the back?
I mean, did he say he was protesting? There's no like video.
Here's his. Did you see his answer or no?
No, I just
What'd he say?
He says, "I didn't even know why I was there. I was 15.
Yeah.
I was scared I was going to get in trouble. I have no other memories outside of that. I just showed up."
Yeah.
So that's what he said.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith said,
Yo, he should have said, "I heard there was black girls coming to school." You know what I'm saying? I was
I'm
trying to
down.
dip in the chocolate.
I'm trying to try new things. You know what I'm saying?
No, but what did Stephen A.
by the way,
say?
that would have been funny if he did say something
my
like that. Just
God.
mess with him.
Oh
No,
my
I was
God.
dating this girl Kiki, and we were.
Dude, like if he
She was
had-
on the
if
other
he had-
side. You don't see her. Kiki was on the other side telling me, "Come on, come on, Jerry."
It's the Kiki.
Oh my God.
No, what did Stephen A.
No,
Smith say?
Stephen A. said originally he says, "Come on, guys, you're doing this. You're bringing back a picture from 60-some years ago when the man was 15 years old. Leave this one alone. What are you doing?" Anyways, then LeBron today says, "I'm wondering how come you guys are asking all these questions about Kyrie, but you guys are not losing it over what Jerry Jones said or Jerry Jones's picture is. How come you're not that energetic about that?" And that's how LeBron was kind of And then Stephen A. came back and said, I 1,000% agree with what LeBron said today. Anyways, it's a mess with a guy 65 years. You got a good point. If they want to come after you and target you on anything, it's not going to be hard to find anything on anybody nowadays.
100%. I'm screwed. But especially my military days, I did some outlandish shit.
Drone strikes?
Not that crazy, but hey, Malik loved that. Love that one. Yo, I'm just talking about pictures and naked. There's shit out there of me where if they ever want to, bro, like they'll just boop and they got you.
Yeah, you just don't run for public office.
Never.
Well, Andrew, you brought up the Rogan thing.
Yeah.
He brought up Bernie. All right. And if you talk about politics. Right, if you talk about Wall Street, finance, they're going to come after you. Who else did you say other than
politics and finance? Yeah.
Okay.
Politics and finance.
But in Rogan, and then we saw what happened with Andrew Tate. He started talking about that.
Ooh,
right?
what was he talking? He was talking about
all
politics,
that, about
or
the Matrix and the system and the world government order, and the Matrix canceled him, and it was,
I think Tate's
Control
thing,
Alt Delete.
I don't know. I think Tate's because he's clearly a smart and thoughtful guy, and he's quite funny too. But I think his miscalculation was he was playing up a character as comedy, as funny people do. I mean, we all do it. We play up we'll say certain things on this podcast right now for jokes that are not really real. But if somebody went, hey, did you really feel that way? I'd be like, no, you idiot. We're joking around because we're four guys in a room busting balls. I don't really think Malik is the black guy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I just said that. But the tricky thing with Andrew, and I think the miscalculation was, his business was tied to those things being his actual beliefs and truths. He's getting $5 million a month for Hustlers University, and it's tied to him actually speaking these things as truths. And I saw him, I think it was on like Piers Morgan. He's like, yeah, I wish I could have maybe redone it or like delivered it in a different way. But the thing is, the more salacious you go, the more attention you get, the quicker you get. I think he could have gotten there the same place he's at now, just at a slower trajectory. He would have gotten there, but it wouldn't have been so meteoric. But yeah, I think that's really it. It's like he can't say, I didn't believe any of that stuff, because then you lose all that money that's coming in based on those beliefs.
Do you think he's going to fight Jake Paul?
If I'm him, I wouldn't.
Why? Because if he loses, it kind of loses the whole shtick?
I don't think he loses the shtick, because I think he's like smart enough to like think of a way around it, like the bravery of just going in there. I respect any guy who gets in the ring. I mean, it's a, if you ever like box or anything like that, it's like this is the real deal. Like a lot of people talk a lot of shit, they don't want to get in there. So I respect him for actually doing that in general. But Jake is a beast, bro. A lot of people don't want to. Jake is a beast. Jake will fuck up most boxers. He will fuck up most MMA guys. I mean, I think we've already proven that.
In a boxing match.
In a boxing match. Not MMA.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be the first person to say, like, I'm not beating any of these guys in MMA. This is what their expertise is. But he's taking it seriously. And then I imagine Tate, who's probably in his 30s, right?
Like 35, 36, yeah.
Yeah, he probably hasn't fought in a few years. Like, that is like a whole transition in life to go do something to prove what? You were already a world champion kickboxer. What do you prove by beating Jake? Maybe you get a payday. Maybe it's... I think there's a number amount. Okay, let's say you get $5 million. Let's say you get $10 million. Is it worth it? I don't know what the guy's worth. But if you got $100 million or whatever, maybe he's saying he got in the bank. Like, is it worth it for 5? Is it worth it to train for 6 months? Your rotator cuff's fucked up. Your eye already has issues. Like, is that worth it for 5? Or could you take those 6 months and apply yourself to another business and make 5? I don't know. What would you do?
I think you're right. I don't think he should fight him. I don't think he should fight. By the way,
and I don't want to take money out of Jake's pocket because I fuck with Jake. I love him. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I think Jake is. I put him in a top 5 best troll shit talkers in the game. It's and he goes up against people above him, and he hangs. It's not like he's calling out people below him, bullying. He goes up and he can go up against anybody. No, I don't think Tate wins here. Whether he wins or not. Like, okay, let's just say Tate fights and he wins. What are you going to say? What are you going to say if Tate fights and he wins? What changes?
You're a world champion kickboxer.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Yeah. But if Jake goes and he wins, what do you think Jake, and more importantly, what does Logan say? My younger brother.
Beat the shit out of you. The guy that talks mad shit about me.
Listen, I don't think you do this fight. I don't think it's necessary. I think this whole thing is plenty. Outside of this, I don't think you do the fight.
And you're already coming back. Like, you've seen, listen, there are guys who get canceled. They don't have the chops to come back.
Yep.
He's got the chops. Like he can speak to intellectuals and defend himself pretty well. There's some certain things that they'll kind of like pigeonhole him into, and he's just got to go like, all right, I said something that was fucked up. I shouldn't have said it. But he can hang. So all he needs to do is continue doing what he's doing now, and then he just has to turn down the dial a few degrees. And it's not going to be as funny. It's not going to be as salacious, but it doesn't need to be because he's already established the name. And then he can continue riding that out. He's actually has interesting things to say. He just said some wild shit that if he was a comedian, we would all laugh at
100%.
and not question.
100%.
Okay? I had a joke back in the day that it was one of the first things that actually like started my career. It went viral on Reddit on Super Bowl Sunday. I remember it happening. And it was countries that treat women the worst have the best food.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
And it was this whole long bit about like nobody's ever went out to say like you want to have Canadian tonight, like no, whatever. It's like the more women, you're like stay in the kitchen, the better the food comes out of the kitchen, right? And this like long crafted bit, I put it out and it went viral on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm a comedian. If there was a person who was literally making the argument that that's how we should treat women so food tastes better, you'd be like, this guy's a fucking psychopath, right? And then if they made a lot of money off of that and they had to stick to that, it's a really awkward position. But when you're a comedian, you're going, hey, I was just being entertaining and like playing with things that happen to be true and are correlated, but might not be like causality, then you get away. It's kind of fun. I almost wish Tate could be like, dude, I'm a comedian, but I also say really kind of insightful things, so we could still get the fun shit.
That's the card of a comedian. You see, it's like I almost want to go do a couple. And then put amateur comedian, and then from there comedian. You know,
you're good. Now, anytime you say anything fucked up, you're like, I'm
just a comedian. Just a comedian.
What you're talking about is comedians get a way longer leash than anybody else.
Yes,
as they should.
Yes,
that's your job, is to talk shit.
Yes. Modern day philosophers.
And even if it's kind of bombastic and ridiculous and out there and totally extreme, it's like, these is jokes.
Yeah.
And this is, I was talking to Jordan Peterson about this recently, but like, it's the importance of play. It's like human beings, we like to play with the things that we're uncomfortable with, that we fear, right? Like Halloween, the whole idea of Halloween is playing with death. Like we're terrified of dying. We're terrified of like our parents dying, our children, God forbid, dying. So we have a whole holiday which we didn't used to dress up as like football players. It used to be like skeletons and that kind of shit. It was like, let's play with this thing we're terrified with. We do it with, when you go to like a Disney World or some shit, you go on these roller coasters, you're terrified of it. But and that's what comedy really is. It's playing with emotions that scare us, ideas that scare us, and doing it in a way where we can all laugh and experience it in a safe way. So when it happens in real life, we're a little bit more ready. And that's why it's existed for fucking probably thousands of years. People have been busting balls forever. When you're with your guys and you're with your guys in the troop, there's no softball jokes.
No.
It's the most savage thing.
Yeah. Oh,
no question about it.
Your father, your
boy
your
cry.
sexuality, how you
I wish I haven't obviously I haven't done any service, but I wish that people could see what the camaraderie is in these troops, because from my understanding, from my friends who have served, my father served, it's like everybody loses their identity that they have outside. And all you're Puerto Rican. The white guy will say the craziest thing about a Puerto Rican. The Puerto Rican say the craziest thing about a Jewish guy. Yeah. And it's like,
dude, I'm Middle Eastern in the Army.
Oh yeah,
yeah, me
you
too.
You're talking about like let it rip.
Well, I was in 9/11. You understand?
Yeah.
Yo,
you earn your stripes, my
bro.
boy.
I was in like, and I remember as it was happening, people were like,
Yo.
Vinny, aren't your mom and dad from where these people are from? And I was like, oh shit, here we go.
But it was great though.
It was ball because I fought back.
Yeah, if you can take it, it's really gonna build some character if you can take it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, late night, 2:00, you're drunk, just calling each other out, talking shit.
Yeah.
But if any of that was recorded,
forget it.
Forget about it. I mean, it's
canceled, done.
But those relationships you have in those moments are so beautiful because you're saying exactly what you feel jokingly to another person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not putting on like a slight facade. So then you get to build these like really deep connections, and that's always what I've felt like. Even with comics, you see that like we say kind of whatever to one another, people I've worked with, and it's like I want to build a world where we can be almost 100% honest with one another, because then I'm a ride for you no matter what. You're going to ride for me no matter what, because you really know me. I'm not being a politician about it. I mean, that's, to be honest, what Trump, I think, exposed about politics. He was playful up there with a bunch of people faking, and it was so hard to not look at him when all these other people were trying to be like Jeb Bush, trying to be all professional.
Yeah.
And he's just clowning Jeb.
Yeah.
He's like, look how far down you are. That was amazing.
He's like, wake up. Yeah, wake up. He's taking a nap. He's just busting he's a comedian. He's
Well,
being
Andrew, I
funny.
think what you're talking about, because I did stand-up comedy for many years, and then I got into finance and all that. But one of the things I used to always say, because I used to make fun of this person and that person, is like, it's not racist if you make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
If anybody can get it at any given time, it's not racist. You're just talking shit.
Yeah.
The thing with Kanye, it's nope, it's just the Jews. So it's like, well, then you're just an anti-Semite and you're a Jew hater. Okay.
And there's no jokes.
And there's no jokes there either. That's why it's not that funny. Other than
Jews
the whole
want to be made fun of.
Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Like
Jews
like
invented
jokes.
stand-up comedy, Andrew. You know that.
Jews control the media.
and going off what you said, Adam. So and I think the beauty, like, and going off what you just said, Andrew, is infamous. The special that you did, which was fucking dope. It was bananas.
man. Thank
To one, a compliment to open. This is what real comedy is, and this is real. And I know you know this, and Pat and them appreciate it. You opened your special with crowd work, and for all the people that are out there, this guy, you're taping this thing. The money's been. It's not like if you went up and it didn't work. Cut, Andrew, go back. No. This is a one-take shot. The guy walks out, he's busting this person's balls, the Latina in the front, and nailing off what you just said. You hit everybody. The black guy, the Mexican chick, the white guy. And I think it's beautiful, number one. Number two, they're slowly trying to take that shit away from us, which is like, yo, time out. This actually brings us together. You fuckers are trying to separate us. The guy's going up there on a special and busting balls like you were in the cellar or you were in. And it felt like, I'm like, okay, this dude's having a blast. And
That's what I wanted, man. Like, for what I learned from doing comedy is that, like, and I'm very fortunate that I have a very diverse audience. Like, white people found me after black people and Latinos, because I started doing Guy Code and then podcast with Charlamagne the God. You guys know Charlamagne the God,
sure.
of course, one of the most brilliant radio personalities in history. And we were doing a podcast, so black people were the ones who came out to my shows when I was on the road initially. Blacks, like Latinos, and like some white people knew me from the MTV stuff. And then when I did Rogan, and when I started to have more like viral success online, that's when white people found me. So for me, I was always very comfortable also just growing up in New York. Just this is how we made fun of one another. Like my friend group was diverse, and we weren't just gonna not make fun of the Dominican kid. Like he's gonna get it like everybody else. So what I realized is that if you're making fun of someone to their face and they're laughing, it's very hard to be offended on their behalf. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's easy if it's just white people making fun of other people, and then you go, oh, this is messed up. But when you're doing a joke about black people and the black people are in the audience laughing,
It's the people, you know what it is, Andrew? It's the people that are watching that interaction and going, oh, he's racist. And it's like, bitch, shut up.
You can't even say it. She's laughing.
She's fucking laughing at it, and you're pissed off, and you're not, and you're like you're a white person. You're upset about this. Leave it alone.
So
That's comedy.
what happened with the special? I saw the story. So you sold it, then you bought it back. You put all your life savings into it. Tell that story.
So it was originally going to be with this streamer, and I don't even say who the streamer is because I've put it this way, like they were really great, and the guy who initially did the deal, he was awesome, but everybody has a boss, and everybody's got to look out for their bottom line, and that's why I have empathy in that situation. So basically, they allowed me to buy it back, right? And
Same value. No premium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, kind of.
Yeah.
There's some technicalities with it, but but they were very cool to do that. And basically I get it back and I think about how I'm gonna do it. I'm like, do I just put it online? Like I want to make my fucking money back. So I put it out with this company called Moment, and basically we'll just do these live stream events, but I want it to be like a live event, and also and you can continue watching it for a few weeks. And we put it out through them, and it was crazy. Like that's the importance of story. Going back to our initial, there are so many people I'm sure who bought the special because of the story of like. They heard, like, stories just touch us differently. Like, I actually think that's the hack to life in a way for humans. Like, that's our earliest version of storing information.
Like when you tell a story, apparently we had Dr. Huberman on the podcast, and I was like, can you tell me about how humans react to stories? And he goes, I can't tell you that much, but they did a study and they said that for some reason when you're telling a story, everybody's heartbeat adjusts at the exact same time in the story. When you're giving people information, some people might be offended, some people might agree, some people might be sad, some people might be happy. But specifically when information is presented in a story, everybody's heart goes up, everybody's heart goes down. And to me, I'm like, that's a superpower. Like, to give everybody in a room the same emotion, that's like music. So anyway, people heard about the story and they really got behind it, and it was just fucking crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, it was just awesome.
So I'm push back.
So what's your plans with your next one? You're going to do the similar model? What are you going to do next?
Well, now we're in an interesting situation that I don't think a lot of comics in history have been in, where it's like, I know what it's worth. You know? So it's like, if a streamer wants to buy it, I know exactly how much I can make. Right?
Doing it on your own.
Yeah. So like, now you got to pay me way more than that because I could get that on my own.
Got it.
And ideally, I'm bigger by the time I do the next one. So you're going to have to pay me the premium to take it away from doing it on my own, then having freedom to do whatever I want with it.
And when they buy it, they own all those jokes? Like you can't, what's the legality of when they buy it?
Performance.
But you can tell the same joke again.
You can, and usually they create like a little
leeway.
Like a window. So they go, you can't sell those jokes for another year or something like that. But they own that performance of those jokes, which is smart for them because if not, we could, I could do the Taylor Swift shit, which is like she's just re-recording her old songs so that she can own them because they technically just own that recording. Of those songs.
So what a beautiful moment in life where, when you think cause I'm pretty sure, bro, when you found out when they're like, we're going to edit your shit, you can't put these in, you're like, so what a moment where you feel like
I was bummed, but I wasn't at all worried that, like I was bummed, but I knew that we could make our money back. I didn't know I was going to make this much money.
That's what I'm saying. So now.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and so Andrew, because of that, now you're like, bro, what a moment where now, I didn't really realize how the worth of that, which I know you know your worth, but now you're like, shit, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, like I'm looking at this, and I'm like, man, like Chappelle's underpaid, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
what do they pay him?
Well, I mean, so he got like $60 million for like what?
He got maybe $60 million for 3 specials, and I'm like, you need to get more, bro.
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm not saying I made $60 million, but I'm saying where I am, and yeah, put it that way. Like, so yeah, you can make money, and I own it still.
Yeah,
he doesn't own it, so. Which not a lot of people maybe will want to do. The tricky thing, obviously, about like Netflix or any streamer is that they, like it's hard for people to get to their content. Now there's so much competition. So it's like, how do they get eyeballs on their content? And, I tell the people that I know at the streamers, I'm like, you have to be part of culture. And I think the easiest way to be part of culture is to recognize what is moving culture. And if it's like podcasts move culture, but what else moves culture? Like memes, as silly as they are, move culture. Like, the only reason I know of the show The Mandalorian is because of the Baby Yoda meme. I didn't know the show was on TV. And then I saw every fucking meme was popping up and people sending me with Baby Yoda. And I'm like, holy shit. Now, Netflix has this stupid thing, and a bunch of these streamers have this stupid thing where if you're trying to do a screenshot of their show, your phone goes black.
Can't do it.
Why would you take away the number one instrument of PR done by the people consuming your content? Can you imagine how many memes with Dahmer when Dahmer was coming out?
Oh my God.
That's already the number one show. Imagine how many memes. It's like you have to let the people produce their own content, which drives people to your shit.
I agree.
So that's just little shit.
So next thing you do, would you do something like what Chappelle did, like a 3 deal type of a thing? Or would that be your expectation? Or would you still say, yeah, I'm going to do it myself?
Maybe I'd do it myself. Maybe I'd do it with them. They would have to convince me that, obviously one, I would want to put it out the exact way that I want to put it out. That's really,
without them having any kind of control over what you put out there. So you want to have full on like Tom Cruise type of, this is what I want to say. Leave me alone. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not doing that to be like a fucking edgelord or anything like that. It's just like I test the material. Like I'm on the road for fucking 2 years. I see the people laughing at it. Like I know the line.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell jokes that people don't laugh at because I love making them laugh and I love making people happy. It's like it's a really cool moment to do something for a living that like makes people feel good. Not everybody gets to do that.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: as an artist, this is the only art, Andrew, that, like, for instance, that you could do your art, somebody else takes it and messes with the shit. Like, there's no painter that finishes and then they go, you know what? You used red here. Fuck that. We're taking that off. The black here. Nah, dude, you're the artist, pimp. So I'm in charge of this, which I think for a comedy, if I'm not hands-on and I had the final say, I wouldn't put it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm meticulous with the things that I create. Like with the special, it took me 1 day per minute to edit it.
Wow. That's bananas.
1 day
Every
per
cut.
And the sound was designed in a way. It was 1 day per minute. And like, because I wanted you to feel what it's like to be in that room.
You
so
like the audience? That shit was. I felt like I was there. That's the audio. I heard
the
it.
number one problem with comedy specials is comics give away the special to an editor that's not as familiar with comedy, so they don't know how to create the tension in the room. And you create tension, you can do it with different camera angles. Like if you're telling somebody something serious, don't cut in the middle of that. Push in. Like, how do humans naturally react when somebody's telling like a serious moment of a story? We naturally lean in.
Yeah, we do.
Create the push.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then when you want to create some sort of like laughing moment, and you want to give the audience an opportunity to breathe, pull out. Show everybody else laughing as well. So like when we're looking at how to edit comedy, I'm not just looking at comedy. I'm looking at horror. I'm like, what's tension release? Horror.
Yep.
What do we do when you're about to get murdered? Tight, then out, getting killed. So it's like, what are the other things that, I don't know, that utilize the same things and feelings as stand-up, but aren't stand-up?
Yeah.
So I could bring something different you maybe never saw. And sound is the other thing. If you as a performer are giving more than the audience is giving you, the person at home will feel uncomfortable. It's the reason oftentimes like when we watch like the late night shows and you see the audience like over clapping for like a joke that sucked, you're like, that's not real.
Yeah,
like something's
corny.
off.
Fallon, Kimmel,
Exactly.
yeah.
And you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You go, what's going on?
Yeah.
And a lot of times there's comics who are killing on stage, but they just don't mic the audience right. So at home, it looks like that person is not acknowledging a lack of response. Even if their material's
Dude,
great.
how hard comedy must have been during COVID. Like you're watching somebody's show and you just want like, what are you doing? Stop it. This is uncomfortable.
I did one. I don't know if you probably didn't. I did one because I just had to get up, dog. I was losing my mind in LA, and I was in a room a little bit smaller than this. It was for Sean Tate Wayans, and it's dog camera, her, one dude, and there's a big ass TV with like 100 people that all paid. And I would say the joke, Andrew, which I know worked, and then I was just like this, and they were like this.
Yeah.
8 seconds later, and then I'm doing crowd work on the TV.
Yeah.
I was about to quit.
My God.
Right there, bro.
And you're big on stage too. Like it works maybe more for the guys who are doing like one-liners and
Stephen Wright. Yeah, Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright doesn't need an audience.
Brilliant. Yeah, he doesn't.
He could just say it right into Mitch, exactly.
100%.
But if you're going to be at all animated and you're going to be all like performing these
this
bits,
guy's humping stools and jumping around and like
you
that's
need
his whole thing.
and you thrive off the energy you're getting from
Yes.
that. Like
yes.
Yeah, like I don't, for me.
Did you even get up, bro? Did you get up?
Nah,
There
I
was
moved to
nothing.
Miami.
Oh, wow.
Hanging with me and the twins.
The twins, man.
Facts.
The heavies. Schulz, you know, everyone these days, you know, speaking of being a comedian, bro, everyone these days wants to be happy about something. Right? You know, whether you want to like get high and do drugs, whatever you want to, chasing sex.
Yeah.
You know, just whether you're making money, business.
Yeah.
Being a comedian, right? The laughter, like doing the joke that you're working on, because it's not just getting a laugh. You sat there, you wrote it, you edited, you just kind of went mad scientist on us, and you went psycho Grim Reaper on how you genuinely come up with these jokes. When you get that joke, how high of a feeling is that? I mean, Vinny too. But.
You know what it is? It's like for me, the high is often the pursuit. You know, we were talking about that even earlier. It's like knowing that I'm like onto something.
Yes.
Like when the joke is, I don't ever call a joke done, but when I'm getting in its final form, what I'm chasing in that moment is the kill. And that's not as gratifying because I'm not exploring as much. You know what I mean? Like chasing the kill is dangerous because if you don't kill, now you're miserable. But when there's like a new bit that I'm like I'm like, I don't know.
You know there's something there.
You're
like
you're
even
a
now,
chef and you're putting
bro,
like more oregano,
like,
more of this.
I'm
more
like even now, And like, there's just something so fun. I've been thinking about like everybody's like the Jews control the media and shit. And I'm like, what is the spin I have on that? And I remember I was in fucking Florence and I saw the statue of David. Have you guys seen the statue of David?
Not in real life.
Yeah,
but
of course. He's not exactly hung.
Well. Not only is he not exactly hung, I was looking at his penis, and they were like, it was like the perfect man, and I'm looking at it, I was like, yeah, but he's not cut, bro. He's not perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is this fucking, garden hose? Right?
Tower.
Yeah. But he wasn't, he's
Malik, you want to put up that picture?
but he was uncircumcised, right? And I remember in that moment, I was thinking, and I go, wow, that's so weird that I'm like judging that. And then I thought of the word uncircumcised, and I'm like, why is that a word?
Because of the Jews.
Yeah. Like, it's just circumcised and dick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we don't call people ungay. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
And in that moment, I was like, yeah, the Jews control the media. I think.
Kanye might have a point there.
So like for me, I'm like, okay, here's like a funny like angle, like that I'm like, oh, this is cool to explore. Like, it's like one of these things where I'm like, it's so rare nowadays that we're all thinking about the same thing. It's so rare that like everybody's thinking about. So here's something I think everybody is thinking about, and here's a fun way to address it. One that I think Jews will laugh at, and without feeling like attacked, and non-Jews will laugh at because they're like, why the fuck my dick Jewish, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, so for me, I'm always
us, homie.
Yeah. If you could think.
Yeah,
you could
thank us. Exactly. And
so I think there's more there, but that's like an example of like I'm excited. Like, I would never tell a joke to some comics and that, because that's not like done or anything, but like for me, I'm so excited I even want to explore it. Like, what is this idea? Like, how do I get into that? That's
like when you write, Andrew, like, because I dude, the list,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your phone is just fuck. I may write sometimes, but this, when you're writing it, you're like, oh shit. Like, I just put it.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And just trying to do it.
just talking to people about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like for me, it's like, now I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, now I want to know now I want to know more about like Jewish people. Like this,
I'll sit down with you, buddy.
Are you circumcised?
Yeah, you want
I believe you. I'm circumcised too.
All right, welcome to the
Dude,
crew.
he still has the skin in a
You
little
saved it?
formaldehyde
You
jar.
It's on my necklace right there. It's on my necklace.
There it is. Little piece of Adam is on his neck.
but you know-
Dude,
you know
that's
how
what arugula is. They just wrap them in.
Try the soup. Try the soup. What's in the soup?
No, hey, give me a spoon.
But isn't that
Do you
isn't that
consider
fucking wild?
yourself
Yeah,
just a comedian? Meaning,
yeah.
like we had Antonio Brown on, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we can talk about, and we're like, I don't know if you saw the interview, heard about it, or whatever, but I mean, we're like, oh, this football player. I'm more than a football player. I'm a father. It's like, all right, some people, I'm a businessman. LeBron, he's like, I'm not just a basketball player, I'm a businessman. But like, there's something beautiful in being a comedian. It's like, I am just a straight up comedian. I think there's a business stuff, there's actor, there's this, but how would you define yourself in that regard?
Yeah, I'm a comedian. I don't need comedy to be important. Matter of fact, the less importance you put on it, the better. Like, I don't. I am just a comedian, and I make dick jokes. Matter of fact, the less you think of what I do, the more I can do.
Uncircumcised dick jokes.
Exactly.
But so it's like the more importance we put on comedy, the less we can say. There's comics all the time that they're saying these things. I'm sure I'm guilty of saying as well. But like, comedy is so important. It's the last bastion of free speech and all these other things. And without comics, we would devolve into communism. And then they also go like, why is everyone trying to silence us? It's like, because you're saying you're important.
Yeah, shut up.
If you just say that you're a clown, you can say whatever you want. And then if there is some truth in it, they can't help but get that in there.
You think Bill Maher's still a comedian?
Yeah, I think Bill is.
Jon Stewart?
John, you could argue is so good at what he did, he ruined it for everybody. Because John made political comedy seem like that was what you were supposed to do. He was so good at it, and he's so like pure about it. Like, John stops his show and he's still like, we're gonna get these firefighters their fucking pay. We're gonna get them their insurance. Like, even if he's not doing it, he's about that life. So, but John was so good at the political comedy, it almost made, I think, a whole generation of people expect their comedy to be political. When in my opinion, like, sometimes it has to be, sometimes it isn't. I don't ever tell people what side I'm on. I don't ever want them to know Like, because maybe I don't have a side. I want Republicans to be like, oh yeah, he says some shit and I want Democrats to be like, oh shit, and I want them both to be upset at me.
I love it.
There's an abortion joke I do in the special, and in the comments, both people on the sides have no clue how I feel about abortion.
Perfect.
So it's like, to me, that's the superpower. But in order to have the superpower, you have to wear the mask. Because if they know who you are, then they're going to fuck with you. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, that's where you can be the most pure version of a comic.
That's
and
perfect.
that's what I
and mind you, talked about Trump. You made fun of Biden. You're just, bro, and it's good. And then when people ask, especially me, I'm just like, because my cousins are liberals, bro, hardcore fall on the sword. They're like, well, Vinny, you're a Republican. I go, whoa, I don't vote. I don't. I'm on one of those little rafts. I'm just in the river. Just go.
I'm on the side of jokes. That's what
That's
I'm on.
it,
Like
bro. I'm just trying
I'm
to make people
loyal.
laugh.
I'm loyal to these jokes, and if I feel a certain way about the world, I'm going to express that.
Do you think that the jokes that you're able to tell, the comedians are able to tell, you think that it's better content now with Biden or better content when Trump was in office?
That's an interesting question, because I think that people either they're not aware of it or they're not willing to admit it. But I think that people are actually happier with Biden in office, and not right or left. I think they're happier being less engaged. Everybody's been able to kind of like disconnect a little bit. And with Trump, he has this unbelievable magnetism that whether you like it or not, you're going to react. The guy talks and you react. And I think what happened with that is it went Trump, then COVID, and we were just like sensory overload. And everything that we were told became bullshit 3 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Like every little bit of information we got was not exactly true. And I don't know if you guys went through this, but I just kind of like removed myself.
It's exhaustion.
I'm not reading another article.
Exhaustion.
Bro, I read an article once. It was a whole article, right? And like I read, and it was like, you know, the ADD's kicking in. I'm like reading and I'm like having a hypothetical fight with my wife she doesn't even know about. And then I got to come back to the same of the fucking top of the article. 4 different times I restart this article. I get to the bottom of the article. I'm like, I fucking read that whole article about some shit I don't even care about. I got this. I'm a citizen of America. I know what's going on. The first fucking blurb at the bottom of the article is like, some information in this article has been refuted, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't need you to fucking, yeah.
Put it at the top. Put it at the top. You know how many times
Don't
I
give me a
read-
disclaimer
Put it
at
at
the
the fucking top of the goddamn article.
You wasted
2
my
hours.
time.
It took me 2
I'll never
hours.
get that time back. I had all this new information, and it's useless now.
Wow.
So I weirdly think, I think people feel 2 ways. I think people are probably embarrassed about Biden. I think people are way more entertained by Trump. I think regardless of where their political beliefs lie, and I don't care who the fuck you are, everybody agrees with a little bit of what fucking Trump says, and everybody agrees with a little bit of what Biden. There's no person that's like, I only believe the same thing one man believes. Like I don't want to believe if you, but I think the temperature is cooler. The tricky thing now is that Biden's so old and so obviously
Lost.
dealing with
Dementia.
Cognitive issues.
bare minimum cognitive issues.
Right.
He can't say a number that's more than 4 digits.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Andrew.
Like,
2 words.
If it's more than 4 digits,
Made in America.
yeah.
That's
he's
what
amazing.
you're
That's
looking for,
so
boy.
amazing. He's
fucking
amazing.
brilliant.
Made
He's-
in America. Them 2 words.
The
here,
guys,
boy.
honestly, he might be more entertaining than Trump if you really think about it.
Who's the best in person? Who does him best? Because Trump, I mean, you had Alec Baldwin, you had all these Frank
so
Caliendo.
many guys.
Who does Biden? I can't even tell you who does
what's his
Biden.
name? Kyle Dunnigan does.
Yeah, he
He's
could do
fucking.
it. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
does the
Does it
face
all.
swap. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Kyle Dunnigan does
Because
it
he
all.
says the same mistakes, words, and but then but Andrew, like real talk, and Pat, we talked about this. Trump, a lot of people are like, man, just DeSantis and Trump. I saw a rally. He's not done.
Oh, no,
He's not only running.
listen,
he's
listen.
fucking coming back.
You don't think Trump has the party by the balls?
Pat?
Who?
Trump.
Do I?
Trump.
Oh, there's no question about it.
Yeah, he's a.
Because
he's
even
a
if
dog.
even if he doesn't win the primary, he'll run as an independent.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
they got to give him the nomination if they want. If they want to win, and Republicans get organized, right? They get in line. It's
Here's
like,
the difference. Here's the difference. If you think about a couple things, what is the biggest difference between? So this is the question to ask. Give 5 reasons why he won in 2016. Okay, why he won. So you could say a person, you could say whatever. Give 5 reasons why you think Trump won in 2016. 5 reasons.
Hillary.
All of us together. Why he won?
Yeah.
Humor.
Okay, humor's
Comedy.
one.
Because the person he was going against, Hillary, did all that stupid shit.
Okay, so right there. So let's just say a terrible opponent.
Terrible.
What else? Give another one why he won.
The celebrity status. His
Okay,
apprentice.
so
and-
Coverage. Yeah, just news.
Constant coverage by everybody
See,
that wanted to get the
everybody.
okay.
Yep.
And then what else? Give me
his
another
money.
one.
Why he won?
Okay,
He had the
fine.
money
You
to-
put that one as well.
That's
5
the
is
money
money.
up there.
I think there was a deep yearning.
I think you
in
guys
this
are missing
country
a couple
I
things
think
here.
for something
Yeah.
out of the swamp, whether
Yeah.
it was Bernie or whether it was Trump.
Yeah.
Just not your typical politician.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
there is,
Hillary,
yeah.
that robotic.
Yeah.
I'm with her. I'm just.
There was a resentment
What is
for
what do
traditional
my
politics.
handlers tell me to say?
Yeah.
Where Trump is like, handlers,
Yeah.
check out these hands. I'm grabbing by the pussy right now. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah. It's also
the
a lot of
realness.
people who like have felt. We were talking about this. Like, there's a lot of people who just felt completely forgotten, and when you give a nod to people who feel forgotten, they can look past all the other dubious bullshit that you say because finally you're being spoken to.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I give you a couple of mine?
Please.
That I got. Check this out. Okay, so here's the real. If let's just say Trump right now called us in the middle of the podcast, said, guys, I've made a decision. I want to hire you guys as our campaign manager. The 4 of you. You guys are helping us out. Yes.
Us,
Yeah.
and
You-
Malik.
Malik for sure, because he's got to do Google. He's got to search stuff. Yeah.
black guy.
So here's what you got. Okay. So you said comedy. You said Hillary, bad opponent. You said he's a celebrity apprentice. You said coverage by everybody, and you got money. Okay. So what's the same? He's still funny, but a little bitter.
Yes.
Before he was funny, he's bitter now. He wasn't bitter back then,
And
right?
angry isn't fun.
He was an underdog. There's a different energy between underdog coming up versus a bitter. That underdog energy is gone.
Yeah.
So there's no longer that underdog spirit, right? That if you think about the underdog.
Correct. It
Does
was
he
like, oh, you're doubting me?
Yep.
Now it's like vindictive.
So
Oh, you
does
doubted me.
he still have the money? Yes.
1,000%.
Does he still have a bad opponent he's going to go up against? Yes, there's still a bad
Very
opponent.
likely.
So is he still a celebrity? Yes. Is he still going to get coverage? No.
No.
He's
No,
not going to get
social
covered.
media,
There's
they've-
no way he's
they've
going to
done
get
it all
the same
before.
CNN,
No.
they know what
MSNBC,
it
have
is.
him
They've
on.
learned their lesson.
So that's gone. Right now, here's a couple other things. Kellyanne Conway was one of his best flag carriers. He lost her. She's not doing it this time. She's gone. She would go on MSNBC, CNN. They would invite her, and she would defend him better than anybody else. That one is gone. The next thing that's gone, he said he's not coming back to Twitter. Because when he did the SPAC deal, I'm willing to bet if I gave Trump a few $100 million, I'm only paying your SPAC if I tell you one rule: we'll give you this $200 million, whatever the amount was that they gave him for the SPAC. You will never tweet as long, even if they let you back on, you will not use Twitter. So he said, I'm not going to be using Twitter. Just come to truth. So Twitter is gone. Wow. Here's the other one that's gone. You ready? Was there an alternative to him at that time? Who? Huckabee? Rubio? Jeb Bush? Scott Walker? Ben Carson? Ted Cruz?
Ted
Who?
Cruz.
John
Ron
Kasich,
Paul?
nothing.
Kasich? So, but there is
No,
an
you're
alternative
right.
today.
You're right.
So that is the part, and it's a real alternative that's an option,
Yes.
right? That
It's
you have
Trump
to look
without
at.
the drama.
Does he have Facebook today? No. Does he have YouTube today? No. Does he have his daughter today? No.
Right.
His daughter said, I'm not part of the campaign. I'm out. So the part that you have to kind of think about, and then Schwartzman. I don't know if you guys know how
Steven
powerful Schwartzman is.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not supporting. Schwartzman.
Who is Schwartzman?
Schwartzman is in the financial
That's
space.
BlackRock, right?
Yeah, this guy's that's Schwartzman
Blackstone.
right there. Schwartzman is the CEO of Blackstone Group.
Blackstone.
He said, I'm not supporting. This guy's worth 30 billion, 40 billion. What's his number right there? Zoom in a little bit.
Shit.
27.5 billion. This is a guy that straight up went against Rahm Emanuel and went against, Obama and wasn't afraid. So the challenge with all of this stuff,
Yep.
he doesn't have the same team as he did before, and there is a real alternative today. So you don't have the same playbook today as he did in 2016.
Nope.
Now, here's the flip side of it. So, like, when you're like, well, I don't ever want people to think I'm where I'm at politically, let them kind of guessing game, all that stuff, where you're like, I think Biden's a good thing, which I understand what you're saying, but the moment Mackenzie Scott left a crazy visionary like Jeff Bezos and married a school teacher, within a year she got a divorce because she got tired of the boring, safe stuff. Okay,
of course.
But you're still dealing with a guy that is a flippin' fighter who's the level of relentlessness this guy's got. There is nobody at his level in politics.
Who? Trump.
Yeah. Just nobody at his level. He's intimidating. He'll get dirty with you. He'll talk trash to you. Yeah. He'll tell you what nobody else is wanting to tell you. He'll entertain. He'll talk. He can go for hours talking on stage without a what do you call it, teleprompter. All these other guys are teleprompter driven. Yeah. They need script writers. This guy doesn't. You know when you're saying how he did a special and he got up and he started first talking to the crowd. Good luck. Where's the teleprompter? Half the guys need somebody to write the script. They need a writer for them, comedian. Yeah. This guy's getting up there saying, I've seen him in a private event multiple times at Mar-a-Lago with the thing off, and I tell you, no joke, 2 hours, you're laughing 30% of the time, 40% of the time. You're literally in tears laughing.
I love it.
You're like, this, you could have been a comedian, this guy.
100%.
And he just goes, no teleprompter.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Who can do that today?
He's just
honestly,
riffing or something?
Can DeSantis do that? No. He can't do that. Can Newsom do that? No. Can Biden do it for half a second? No.
Not at all.
Can Kamala do it? Can Pete do it? Can Rubio do it? Can Cruz do it? None of these guys have that ability to get up and light it up and 50,000 people show up. So as much as it's very easy for people to say, let it loose, no way in the world, all this other stuff, you have to deal with Trump, period. So if he doesn't run as a Republican, runs as an independent, if I'm a like right now, DeSantis is playing the card of just staying quiet, not saying anything back, not talking shit, not retaliating, not rebuttaling. Nothing's been said yet, but he has announced that his autobiography is coming out for DeSantis. Anytime you have an autobiography, like when yours comes out, we know you're running for office, just so you know.
Is that true?
Yeah. When your autobiography comes out.
What if he's like, I'm actually in the middle of writing one
So
right now?
funny that you said that.
You know what his title of his book's going to be? Here's a perfect title for your book. And I'm telling you, I think the moment I say it, you're going to say that's the title. You ready? Circumcised.
Making the cut. Making the cut.
I'm going to say, that's a freaking bestseller right there. Circumcised.
And Andrew, I'll be your VP.
There we go, baby.
There we go.
That's so freaking funny.
Oh my God.
So then how do we get Ron a little heat?
To what? To want to get in there and go. By the way,
He wants in. He wants in.
Do you really think he does? Do you think he does? You think he really wants to compete?
Listen, there's two things that never lies, man. They just never. Look at the guy's eyes. Yeah. Eyes never lie. Yeah. This guy wants it like you have no clue. He wants that fight. He doesn't want it to be easy. He wants to go up against a guy like that. As brilliant as he is, as strategic as he is, he wants that fight.
Oh, you think he wants? Oh,
I think he wants that fight.
Well, he is a soldier, bro. He's a soldier.
I think how boxers get criticized for not wanting to fight the other opponent. Yeah. That they were at he wants to beat Trump at his best. Like he wants him. Wow. He wants to. Now that's my opinion. I may be fully off, and I may be like, because if I think who he is, I don't think he wants to be a guy to become a president easily. Like, it's like, well, let me tell you how we did it. We got rid of him. Oh, here's DeSantis. What a lame story. You kidding me? Trump's story, like, look, what just happened yesterday? We're upstairs. I'm in a business meeting. One Colombian, Sam, runs in. A Guatemalan, Mario, runs in. We're like, oh, Mexico won. They're advancing. Yeah. No, they're not, because Argentina won 2-0. Yeah. Mexico was supposed to win 2-0.
Yeah.
2 minutes left, stoppage time. Saudi Arabia scores a goal. Mexico's out.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? By the way, Mexicans are now watching World Cup. They're done.
The coach got fired immediately.
Forget about the coach got fired. That thing was that comeback of what just happened there. That's a tough loss, right?
Oh my God.
Think about the most incredible losses, like how the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees.
I don't want to talk about that.
That's a pain. You look at how Atlanta lost to Brady. Oh my, 28-3. You think about all these games. Dude, nothing comes close to what Trump did to Hillary that night. Like, it's 3:30 in the morning. You just enjoyed watching these people cry.
Yeah. I did.
This is just freaking entertaining.
I did, bro.
So I think if this guy wants to truly be a heavyweight and he wants to be like a Reagan-esque type of a guy, he's got to take out Trump.
And how?
The how, he's got the right people that are sharing insight on how to do it. This guy is he's not gonna have a hard time doing it. In his eyes, he's not gonna have a hard time doing it. However, so I'll give you some strategies in my opinion, and then it is what it is. So look at, for example, okay, you walk into a room, you're negotiating with an enemy, okay, and this guy's an asshole. He doesn't like you. He's bigger than you, and he's been bullying you, and he's constantly talking shit to you. When you walk into this meeting, you have a few different options. Option number one, be diplomatic.
Yeah.
And you go in and you say, hey, John, how are you? Everything good? Hey, thank you for making the time. It's great to be here with you. Okay? Now, to him, you're kissing his ass. All right?
It's fake.
Number two, you show up 8 minutes late. Okay?
Big dick.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you tell him we got to leave in 20 minutes? Okay. So what's up? Tell me. I know you want to figure this thing out. Obviously, we have some issues here. What do you want to do? I'm not convinced you want to do anything here with us. So go ahead. I'm all ears. Go ahead. You can take that route. He can't come in and be like, hey, he has to send handlers to have those types of conversation. Both of them are having their handlers talk to each other. But you eventually have to face off against the guy privately and have the conversation. And he's not going to take the Mark Rubio route. If he does, he'll get destroyed. If he takes the Ted Cruz route, he's going to get destroyed.
What are those routes?
Mark Rubio route was the route where he's starts off, being very diplomatic, and then all of a sudden he tries to, play the game of Trump to talk shit. And it's like, stop.
And all that stuff.
Stop. You're not in this league, bro.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, dude, you're not.
That's not your
This
thing,
is not
bro.
your game, bro. Don't play this game. Like, in sports, you're a shooter. You try to play an inside game. That's not your game.
Yeah.
Keep shooting the threes. That's your game, Golden State. Play that game. This guy has to come out guns blazing and setting his argument and letting everybody know, but at the same time giving the message in a way knowing he's still going to need the MAGA voters to support him to win office.
Yeah.
So it is a very massaging, like you have to maneuver, you have to push, you have to bully it, you have to respect. He's got his work cut out for him, but if there's a guy that could pull it off, it's him.
Go ahead.
Does it bother you that currently you can't run for president?
Does it bother who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
What a question you're asking. If I can't run for president?
Yeah.
I don't think it bothers me. I think
It's not your choice. Everything else in your life so far as an adult has been your choice.
Listen, some people are put there to help somebody else do it, meaning maybe one of my kids is going to be a president, and my job is to help
Joe
shape
Kennedy
their
over
mindset.
here.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a Joe Kennedy. Maybe I'm a Fred. Maybe I'm a Prescott. Maybe I'm that guy, and I'm very comfortable playing that role.
Yeah.
Because this is a area I enjoy the kingmaker part of the game.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. The other night we're having a conversation till 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 hours. I'm having a conversation with this guy because I really think this guy is super capable of what he can do. We've had multiple few-hour conversations, sitting there talking to Jedediah, seeing what she's doing right now. Our insurance company, seeing what our guys are doing. I freaking love that part of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Naturally.
But a little bit.
Oh, president?
Yeah. I would vote for you.
Let me...
I'll be honest, I think you could do it.
Let me give you one. If you're asking me, like, what laws I would change if I was well, you can't do it constitution-wise. Here's what it would be. I think there are people that love America more who weren't born here.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I think if you wanted to really still keep the integrity of 35 years, do it 35 years from the day you came here or 35 years from the day you became a citizen. Let that be the same as somebody that has lived here for 35 years. I think that law logically makes sense to me if they did something like that. That law makes sense to
And
me.
I think being in the military should give you a little bit more incentive because you've served and fought for this place. So that should give you another. Okay, knock off 5 years. He's Gucci. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people that love America, but Pat's up there as one of the pro-American, pro-capitalist, pro.
So let's say they change it. Let's say it changed the rule.
What about it?
What do you mean, what about it?
If they change it,
I see a smirk.
if they change
I
it,
see a smirk.
I'll be straight. This is the first time I'm talking about on the podcast like this. If they changed it, very high likelihood I would entertain running.
So
Very high likelihood.
do you see Schultz's face? He's
Pat,
like,
yeah.
come on.
Pat could be yo. And imagine Andrew as the vice president just coming out.
I'm not there.
Andrew's talking shit. Like, who's talking
I'm
shit
Kellyanne
about
Conway. Send me to sit down, Anderson Cooper.
that? Yeah, it's so fucking
No,
funny.
that's interesting. That's interesting. No, you're one of the first guys that I actually like. That I would say, well, I don't want you to run because I don't want them to just tear apart your family and you go through all these things. But yeah, I get a good sense from you that you genuinely want to help. And I think that's what I got from Bernie. It was like I didn't agree with almost any of his philosophy, but I thought he wanted to help, not win. And unfortunately, you need to want to win in order to win. But that resonated with me. I was like, I think this guy just wants to do the best thing. And maybe he and I differ on what the best thing is, but at least his heart is in the right place. And this is America. They're not going to let you change too much shit. So I was like, I fuck with that guy for that reason. That was like a rare thing. It was also interesting that like him and Trump resonated at the same time, which speaks to what you were talking about earlier, which was like this dissatisfaction with the political system. And then these two outsiders, and because of the corrupt nature of the way Democratic primaries work and fucking super delegates, which is like a mind-boggling concept that even exists. But he wasn't able to get there, and it was kind of, you could argue, stolen from him, or he wasn't able to get it. But like, seeing both of those people represented, it was Trump and Bernie at the same time, spoke volumes to what Americans wanted. Right?
Yep.
And by the way, they should have faced off.
They should have.
They should have faced off.
I agree.
Because both of them are true believers.
And
they should have faced off.
And what is
Hillary
Trump gonna
got in
say
the
about
way
him?
and Biden got in both times.
But what is Trump going to say about Bernie?
Oh,
Like, what can he say? That's the thing. It's like, Trump is fascinating because, and I think Ben Shapiro put this the best. He's like, politics is a mudslinging competition, and Trump is made of mud.
Yeah.
wow.
Everybody else is in their white suit. You know what I mean? So that mud shows up way more.
For sure. Or what do they say that, never mud wrestle with the pig because you both get dirty and
you go.
a pig loves
They
being
love
in
to
the
be
mud.
there.
Exactly. That's Trump.
100%.
Guys, go make it in real estate in New York for 50 years. And see what happens to you.
Look at
Go
all-
in media, hook up with everybody that he hooked up with, date a bunch of models, have the pressure of a father that you had with a mother who was so flamboyant and he picked up that side from her. Have your older brother die from alcohol and then see what kind of a person you would be.
Yeah. He's tough as hell.
This guy is a ridiculous guy.
Yeah.
The resume and the pedigree that he has, and being from the streets of going up against all these guys that are trying to bully you. No, look, it's very hard to be in someone's shadow.
Yeah.
Very hard to be in someone's shadow as a kid.
Yeah.
By the way, secretly, I don't know how much more resentment there is than you doing good in your life. And you would have been a superstar if anybody was your father.
Yeah.
Then put a superstar as a father, dude. That's not like a easy thing to like. Imagine you're dating your girl, you and your girl are dating each other. You're going out and you just made partner at a law firm that's freaking badass in New York. They're 31. You're the youngest partner. Made $1.8 million last year, and you go home and your dad's there, and your wife's like, "Man, your dad, man, it's a freaking amazing guy and what he does." She's like, dude, can you like relax? I'm a freaking partner. Yeah, but your dad's $3 billion guy. Like, think about how annoying that can be, right? To be able to have your father, Fred Trump, with the badass eyebrows. Have you seen Fred Trump's eyebrows?
They look like caterpillars.
Legend. Pull up Fred Trump's eyebrows.
Them
I mean,
things were aggressive.
This is like
Those
one of
eyebrows are running for office.
Look at
dude,
that
this
shit.
is, dude, this is like. So that's not even a good picture of eyebrows. There's another one that's phenomenal. You could braid his eyebrows. I mean, this is
a cornroll on each
so.
one.
But the point is, look at that picture right there. Look at that picture right there. I mean, you can tell.
Like, scroll in a little bit.
Yeah. So look at that. Look at that right there.
Yeah, they're fucking.
I mean,
Trump's too.
You got
Trump's gonna edge him up.
You got to, and then you outdo him.
That's
in every way.
That's crazy.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to do.
Now he's a force, man. He's a force. But I'm so curious about what about governor?
No.
What about going to fix
No,
California?
I'm good, man.
You don't want to fix California?
No.
No?
No interest.
Not at all?
Let me explain to you why. And hopefully this will make, like, for example, Florida.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple guys here that are like, Pat, we all know you're going to run for. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you right now, it would really have to be like, I would say less than 1% chance I run governor state of Florida. Okay. Why? Here's the way I processed it. Okay. If I'm going to put the family and the kids through anything, I'm not going to put it through for governor. I'd go help somebody be a governor. That's a play. I would help them, but I'm not going to put my family through that part. If it is where the influence can be to really make an impact as a nation, no problem. Let's go. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be nasty, but we're going to be all right. We'll prep everybody. That would be more worth it than doing something that's a governor. Not worth it. Like even business
Collateral damage.
It's not. It just doesn't excite
You don't
me
think
at all.
California is ready? I thought California. I thought who was it? What was it in that election? My boy Dove was he had feelings about that. Who just lost? What's the guy's name?
Oh, in Cali?
Yeah,
for governor?
in L.A. No, it was the mayor.
Oh, the what's his name? Rick Russo.
Oh, yeah. He's a beast.
Yeah,
Oh, he was dope. What happened?
He's a beast.
Who
Yeah.
beat him? Who beat him? He lost to who?
He lost to a lady, I believe.
Yeah, I
believe he
thought
lost
I
to a
thought
lady.
L.A. was fed up.
Dude.
By the way, they were fed up. A lot of people that are friends who are in Hollywood who were supporting this guy, who were like, we want Caruso to win. And, he's a Republican that ran as a Democrat.
Right.
So that was a great way of doing it. But, even with the recall with Newsom, he still won 63%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it was close.
Yeah.
You asking questions that you may even have some interest in this. Is there any interest with you with politics?
No.
Zero
No.
at
He's a
all.
comedian.
Got it. No, but you listen. You've just seen what's happened the last few years with the model of a comedian winning. Trump
I don't want
is.
to tell people what to do, man. I love influencing culture for sure, and I love doing that in a with humor, and sometimes I like just telling jokes about absolutely nothing. But yeah, I love taking part in culture. That's really interesting to me. But I don't want to tell people how to live, and I'm too empathetic for like how both people and both sides want to live. Because I ultimately think that they want the same thing. They don't even realize that they're trying to fight for the same thing. Like you could take even like the most divisive issue. It's like with the trans kids or whatever like that. And it's like both sides are actually like caring about the kids. Like the liberal side are going like, oh my God, these poor kids are having this identity crisis, and what can we do to make them more comfortable? And then the conservative side's going, oh my God, these poor kids could be influenced to do something trendy that could permanently ruin them.
What a point.
But both parents
Yeah.
are concerned about those fucking kids, man. So it's like, and you'll never get a discussion where you can just have them agree, because the way that we pin things is, both sides are evil and you want to destroy whatever. So I don't know. I think the coolest thing would be able to have people on the podcast or have discussions, even like we're having right now, and then have people be able to go, oh shit, yeah, that other side isn't that bad. And maybe the heart's kind of in the right place, but they're just coming at it from a different direction. It becomes very tricky, and maybe you have way more experience this from running businesses where you have to make decisions that are going to affect people, and you have to make decisions that are going to affect X amount of people that work for you, and they're going to disagree with it and like be upset by it. And that's listen, as much as we criticize politicians, as much as we're like upset at them, as much as we're angry about things, making decisions is hard. And living with the consequences of those decisions is hard. And I respect that ability, even if I disagree with the decision made, because most people would prefer not to. That is a brave thing. You look at like military decisions, like you pushing a fucking button and sending some guys in somewhere. That's a tough thing to do, I imagine.
Yep.
That takes a fucking man to make that decision. Man, woman, I don't care, whatever. When I'm saying man, I'm talking about someone who's willing to stand on it. That's a fucking tough thing to do. Now, we could criticize those all we want sitting back here, but given you're in that situation, what are you going to do? You gonna freeze?
Yeah.
You going to freeze?
I mean, look, natural behavior, most people are afraid of breakups. They're afraid of people leaving them. They're afraid of not being liked. They're afraid of people, what if I lose this person because maybe they didn't have a father figure in their lives, or a mom, or a bad relationship with an ex who left them or cheated, or whatever it is. There's these fears that you have, right? You're going to have a very hard time making decisions if those things concern you. But by the way, Rogan said something to you that he's 100% right. Dude, things change when you have a kid. It's a very weird thing. Malik's got a kid. He knows what I'm talking about. Things change.
2 kids.
Yeah. When
What color? No.
What movie is that when the kid is like the white guy goes in and is like, what
Me,
movie is
Myself,
it?
and Irene?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was it Me, Myself, and Irene?
All three
Yeah.
kids,
Oh
but
my
he just won't accept it.
Yeah,
But
I thought it was another one as well. That I'm trying to see what movie that was with. Is it George Clooney or George Clooney and that Zach Galifianakis were at the end? Anyways, there's a funny movie comedy that happens at the end. But
you're right. Maybe once. That's so interesting. Maybe once you have children, you go, oh, I need to do something about this.
to protect.
To protect, yeah.
To protect, because it's natural.
That makes more sense to me. I guess where I'm at the situation right now, it's like where I'm like, I don't want to tell people what to do. And I love this society that we've built where we can have this fun and we can play. We can also say serious things. We can influence, and maybe like through that influence, who knows? I made some silly shit about TikTok, but then all of a sudden it maybe started a conversation that maybe could get it kicked out of here, which is maybe a safer thing for America. And that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like playing that part.
But even earlier when we were looking at 40 Laws of Power, you're able to be neutral, see both sides, you're willing, accepting of both sides, and you're able to reason. These are all great qualities of a leader. And where you are right now, dude, let it rip. Let life, life's going to happen. Marriage is interesting. Having kids is interesting. And all of a sudden, it's different when you have a son, it's different when you have a daughter. It's going to be a very, very different feeling with a daughter or a son, and those dynamics are, and then age and then conversations with them. We're like, dude, this guy's so different than this guy. And how do I lead him versus her? And,
that's scary when you have kids, like accepting the lack of influence you have over them, because you can't be with them every second of every day, and they're going to be influenced by their peers and the movie. Like, do you have to just let go a bit? Can you?
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
Heavy, right?
Yeah, you don't have a choice with that. So you know what the number one decision is? The number one decision is who you marry.
Yeah.
When you're talking to her at one of the, say you're dating her for 6 months or 12 months, and you're sitting there saying, okay, I like you.
Yeah.
We're cool. Would you make a good mom?
Yeah.
And if you would make a good mom, what would you teach my kids? How would you be? What would be, you're talking about Kellyanne Conway and George Conway and their daughter getting on videos and showing what the life looks like. Dude, first of all, you guys screwed up right off the bat when you guys don't even agree on, basic politics. I mean, what are you doing? Right off the bat, you're teaching. The kid is looking at you, say, oh, they disagree? Okay, I'm going to lean on that. I'm going to lean on mom.
Yeah.
And then, boom, I come out. So the number one thing is who you marry, and then from there is you being clear on seeing what your mom and dad did that you liked, you didn't like. You're like, dude, this shit didn't work, that didn't work, this definitely didn't work. I didn't like it, but it was very good because it worked on me. I needed this. And then eventually, and this is the biggest part, the reason why you're going to like making money is you have the resources to put a team together around you, period. When you have the money, you get to decide what nanny, you get to decide what private school, you get to decide what sports team, you get to decide which coach, you get to decide. You have resources. You have resources. The benefit of having resources to do that. And then people that are around you, say if we're working together, your kids coming around me, you're like, I'm just hanging out with Pat. Oh, my kid's going around you. I know what Andrew's going to talk to them about. That's
so you're vetting the parents.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, 100%. You're 100%.
That's interesting.
Andrew, when did you get married?
December 18th last year.
So you're about to have your 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And you're
2 weeks.
trying to have a kid.
We just started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're lighting up right now asking these questions. You could tell.
He's inquisitive, very
Well,
inquisitive.
it's because he's in the moment.
face,
He wants
yeah.
to learn
Yeah,
from somebody who's done it. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the red pill stuff, where you're like, talk to me when you get married. If you want to just be a guy, single guy, bachelor, for sure, soak it all in. But there's another level to it, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another level to you want to be a father, right? Who's the actor that you love that's going to play you in a movie one day? John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
John
He's a
Bernthal.
beast.
He's got this podcast. It's awesome,
Yeah,
right?
he's great.
And he's sitting there with
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
And he says, when do you become a man? When do you become a man, right?
Yeah.
And he says, you become a man when you become responsible for somebody else.
Yeah.
This is life,
Right?
Yeah.
So now when you're a husband now, right? Because Schulz and I used to be hanging with the twins type of thing, you know? Now you're you know what I'm saying. Now you're responsible for your girl, right?
Yeah,
But then that's one level.
Yeah.
Then there's another level of being responsible for a kid.
Yeah.
And there's different levels to this.
Yeah.
So when Pat is responsible for 4 kids, his wife, his father lives in the house,
Yeah.
Melva, who's the maid, and then
all his employees and the people.
So it's sponge it up is what I'm saying. 'Cause
No,
it's-
for me, yeah. I mean, curiosity is, I think, that my most valuable trait, to be honest. But and there's just a lot you can learn from people who have had those experiences. But yeah, I'm just fascinated by it. Like, even getting married, like there's being in love with somebody, and there's also wanting to build a family. Like, I didn't want to just get married. I told my wife, I was like, whether the government knows we're married or not, I don't give a fuck. I mean, if you care.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing to you is I want to build a family with you. And I knew she was right. I went to a bookstore with my wife on our 4th date, actually. And I picked out a book and I gave it to her. And it was the Karma Sutra. Have you
Yo, in my head, I was like, he reads books.
I was like, pick 50,
He's like so
50 positions.
You got me so good, bro. I was
50
like,
positions.
yo, he got me so good because I was like, wow, he's so deep.
You're unbelievable.
I go, what a reader. Because Pat loves to read. I'm like, wow, he's a reader.
Does he know the
What a
story about the
reader.
book?
This is mostly pictures. This one.
So here's what I like.
very
Yeah.
valuable.
Like, you have a chart.
That's so funny, dude.
No, but that for real, like we had those talks. Like, I want to build a family, and like I want to I want to pass on the shit my father gave to me. My dad's my hero. So I always think about every decision I make. I have this person where I get to go, well, what would he have done in that decision? Like, every tough thing that I go through, I go, well, how would he have handled it? And I want to be able to be that for my kids, But yeah, God willing.
I think you'll be just mind you. I'm kind of like Adam. I don't have, not kind of like I am like Adam. No kids, but just talking to you and seeing you and just you're gonna be fine, bro. And you learn as you go, and it'll be dope.
Page 17,
you'll be good,
bro. Page
17.
Yeah, so that's
make
where it's
it.
at. Karma Sutra.
You'll be fine.
My man. Anyways, this has been a blast
Yeah.
of a podcast.
My
I'm
face
glad we got together. This was unbelievable.
Thank you so much.
Before
man.
we wrap up, can I give just a
Yeah,
little,
go for it.
little,
Go ahead.
PSA. So love you, brother. There's nothing to do with you.
Sure.
So this is more for the audience out here. But we were talking about Tate earlier.
Oh yes,
Right?
yeah.
So we did a whole podcast. We've had a great experience with him.
Yeah, it was huge, that podcast.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
that.
the first podcast that I think he did right after he was banned.
Yep.
We had a great time. It was awesome.
Brave
And-
move, by the way.
Brave move. And it worked out well. And
Yep.
I know he speaks very highly of Pat. We speak very highly of him. I've said nothing but good things about Andrew Tate. Where am I going with this? We all look at podcasts we do. We're jokes, we're comedians, what have you. And we all, if you ever played sports or do comedy, you get a mulligan every once in a while. If you could get a mulligan, you look back and you're like, could have done that one better.
Oh, yeah.
Could have done that one better. You've been there before? I'm sure. So I did a podcast with this guy called Sneeko.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, let's
Yes.
say. And let's just say it could have gone better.
Ay.
I should have been nicer, genuinely. It just should have been nicer.
Yeah.
Be nice. And in the context of this podcast, I was, reaching and trying to, find common ground with this guy. And I said some things about Tate in in the hopes that we were kind of bond over something. And in that process, I kind of said more than I should have. I'm not going to get into the details now, but I said more than I should have. And when someone trusts you with something, a secret, we take that very seriously around here. I take that very seriously. And I said something that I shouldn't have. And I know that he wasn't probably happy about that. So one of the things I learned from Tate, for sure, sitting down with him, was taking accountability and personal responsibility. One of the hardest things to do is look in a mirror and be like, dude, you fucked up, dude. Like, everyone's like, no, you don't understand. It's like, no, I messed up real big time. So I wanted to take a second to give a mea culpa, an apology, and I'm sorry to Tate.
That's
for sure.
Good of you.
To Pat.
Courage.
That's
courage. There
Courage
you
right
are.
there.
Yeah.
That's right there. And to Pat, because I kind of put you in the middle of this. Apologizing to Andrew Schulz because you're in the middle of this now, Vinny.
It's
Forgive
okay.
it.
I'll forgive
But
you.
generally, I think if you
You need to apologize for taking a piece of my dick skin.
Yeah, you freaking rascal.
That's
bad.
what you need to
You rascal.
apologize for. Yeah.
So anyway, that too. But
we all make mistakes, man.
we all
Yeah.
make mistakes, and I think the true test of a man is to own up to a mistake and say, you know what, I screwed up, and when you do own up to it and give an apology and move on.
You're a good man.
And last but not least, apologizing to the audience out there, because we do try to do the best thing possible and deliver real good product, and we do value your opinions. And if there's anyone I pissed off by saying things I shouldn't have, I have the deepest apologies. But
Good on you.
sorry,
You're a good man.
on my
Good for
Good.
you.
It's not easy to do that.
No, it's not easy to do. And we talked about it on the flight back, and we said, hey, here's how it is, and and you're manning up to it. So I respect that.
Yeah.
But awesome. Okay,
Thank you,
good.
bro.
You're good with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Proud of you, man. Okay. Anyways, this was sick. This was awesome. Felt like 5 minutes. Dude,
Yeah,
you're
that's
freaking
lovely.
amazing.
Thank you,
I got to
man.
tell you,
You
got a
guys
fan
too.
here, man. Big
Yeah.
fan of what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Well, I got more questions for you. So one of these days you're going to get blown up. by me, for sure.
The weirdest thing about sitting in podcasts like this is when you've watched someone online so many times and you're like, I think I like that person, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you come in and it's like, yo, we're homies. And it's like, I'm also a fan. And it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like, you know.
You know
the
I'm
Kama
no,
Sutra.
hold on, I'm pissed off about this fucker
Why?
because I'm like, he's fourth date and it's beautiful. I'm like, what bookstore?
Vinny's
I'm like, Barnes and
crying,
Noble.
yeah.
I built the whole thing, and then you just took that left, and I go, this piece of shit.
Or
I
helped
was so
out.
invested.
Or helped out. Or helped out.
Because
It's
he
like-
knows he sat down with the doctor that said a story.
Dude,
Everyone
I
sat
was
there.
so.
We're all like, what book?
I was
What
invested. I was
Hilarious.
invested. I was like, you fuck. But yo, it was amazing.
That was awesome. Bro.
Well,
thank
if
you guys,
if
man.
you're gonna do your next special, when you decide to do the next special,
Yeah.
let us make an offer on it.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
talk to us.
That's, yo, he's being
Let
dead ass.
us
Absolutely.
make an offer on it. Call us.
Absolutely.
Let us know. We'd love to talk to you about that. But with that being said, I don't know. We don't have another podcast
No.
this week. We are Monday. We're with Michael Saylor,
That's right.
Oh, cool.
which means on Monday, just so everybody knows, we're going to ask 4 questions. Michael's going to talk for 2 hours.
yeah.
Bitcoin it
We're going to talk for 30 seconds.
Perfect.
So just come to find out what those 4 questions are, because we got to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried and what the hell he
my
just
God.
did with New York Times.
If you have
Having
not
said that,
subscribed to PBD Podcast, please subscribe. Flagrant.
Yes.
Flagrant
Check
too.
out Flagrant, man. Check it out, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
my man, take care. Everybody have a great weekend. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Peace.